ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL,
Hello and welcome, ladies and gents, back to ESL Challenger League Season 51 South America, Cup number 3. My name is Nayokai. I'm joined by Paladin for some South American action. It's very rare that me and Paladin get to cast together, but I'm looking forward to it, buddy. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's always a good time, Neo, and we've got a great game for us today. It's a game that, honestly, was not expecting for both of these teams to be through the upper bracket specifically, but the fact that they have a chance to get ever closer to this grand final is everything, right? A chance to play in the South American finals later on for Season 51 would be fantastic on all accounts for them.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't actually get to check in with South America that much. Now, you've been doing quite a bit of South America, if I'm right in saying, mate. You've been kind of covering most of the cups so far. How have the other 2 cups gone up until this point?
Yeah, fairly according to procedure. You haven't really seen any big upsets. I think the biggest one, honestly, is the fact that Shinden have not made it through just yet, and they're still battling to make it to the finals. They've had a couple of scheduling issues, so they're in the lower bracket, but again, this is what they're playing for. They're playing for that spot, don't get me wrong, in the finals, but $8,000 goes a long way in terms of the VRS standings as well. And for teams at this level right now, when you think about no massive South American teams like your Furias, your Fluxes, your Imperials, it's all very vital money for them across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. There's kind of 2 things that they play for. And of course, is that money, but it's qualifying to the finals at the end of the year. Finals at the end of the year, of course, can net a Pro League spot. Let's take a look at the bracket to see how we've got to where we're at. Of course, here in that lower side of things, R2 Shinden. Shinden as a whole, of course, in that lower. We're expecting them, for the most part, to cruise, mate. Is that the assumption there? They've got Crashers and Vivo as well. How are we feeling for that one?
Yeah, I think Keatstar's looked good yesterday against the Game Hunters. They've got a few bit of individuals that are exciting. I do enjoy watching Lash. Cuts actually had some nice moments as well. But for me, Shinden is the team that should make it all the way through, regardless of who gets tossed into that lower bracket. And I think that actually adds a little bit more pressure to this upper bracket game between FDB and LP. Is if you drop into that lower bracket and you have to go up against them, you're now playing against the favorites of the tournament, and you don't have that extra life to play around with. So I think for them, it's like one of those very ripe opportunities to go up against a team that on both sides can expect to potentially win and move on and get at least a top 4 in this competition.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. This is the upper bracket side of things. We're going to be doing the interesting of Fake Biru versus LP, which we're going to abbreviate that to FDB to make our life a lot easier. There's also Uno Meal and Pain Academy. How are you feeling about that Uno Meal Pain Academy side or game?
I actually really like Uno Mille a bit. I think Remix is doing some good work. I mean, there's a lot of inconsistencies in his play, but Pain Academy's got a lot of really fun players too. Again, another very inconsistent side in that sense. Tatu's a guy to look out for there. But we'll get into the conversation about our upper bracket semi-final here between LP and FDB here. And I think the conversation can kind of start on the LP side with this X Nitro core essentially trying to assemble some former Galleries players, and they've been trying to find themselves for quite some time, bopping around through different organizations. I think they played under the Dash banner for a little bit, and now, you know, they're back to the LP banner, and they've been doing some great work. I mean, they made it pretty deep in the last cup. I believe they made the grand finals of that one. Actually not getting over the line there. It didn't have enough juice in the tank, but the player that I'm looking at that is most exciting to me is Allison. This guy is hyper aggressive across the board. but he nails his shots. I kind of call him like a donk light, you know, in terms of, you know, just how aggressive he wants to be in like the outer yard on nuke. Plays a lot of very similar positions, to be honest. Obviously not to that consistency, but the stylistic additions from him are definitely there, and that's going to be, I think, the biggest win condition for LP. If they can have this guy alive for as long as possible, getting him activated in a lot of positions, I think they'll be very, very happy moving forward.
And I guess the worry is if he doesn't step up as well, how will that affect things? Over on the other side, we've got the FDB side as well. And I will say, a few of these guys I've caught in the past. I mean, I feel like I've been casting Turtle for a long, long time. I think I remember him back on, if I'm right saying it was a Daytona. I feel like he was on that team with the like the pit bull that they had, or like the bulldog.
Yep.
As
with like VSM and stuff like
as the logo. That was actually one of the first ever majors I watched. I'm pretty sure. I feel like it was one of the ones that he was in. So, you know, real throwback. Hard Zao, PKL Detroit, CK Zao, and especially Hard Zao Detroit and PKL. I've cast all of these guys at LAN events as well. So it's actually kind of like a fairly stacked roster.
Yeah, you think about it and you look at their ranking and you say 125th in the world. That doesn't necessarily make any sense. And I think, honestly, that's not really an answer I have for you. I mean, they had Coldzera in their ranks for a little while. They had Pesadillo in their ranks. They dropped both of them, and they've actually been improving in terms of results. Both CK Zao and Turtle have been that necessary firepower addition to get them over the line. We have the vetoes up for you now. And your standard permabans are out. Ancient and Anubis not in the pool. South America really don't like both of these maps all too much, which is very interesting. You'd think that a lot of them would favor Ancient here and there, but we get to go to our standard lovely maps of Dust 2 and Inferno, and my assumption is that we're probably going to get Mirage as a decider.
Yeah, I feel like, are we going to stay just nice and puggy here? I mean, as all great things should be, I guess, in a weird and wonderful way. So yeah, we do. We get Dust 2, we get Inferno, we get Mirage. Very simple stuff. It's what the kind of puggy sides would lead into. There is kind of like the other side to it, whereas because it's somewhat simple maps, you don't see anything new on them, and in doing so it comes down to the raw individuals. You know, you kind of talking about a few that we could see step up to play, like Allison, for example. This feels like potentially a veto which he's actually going to favor. He is a bit of a donk light. These are quite puggy maps for him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect thing that I'm looking for if I'm LP. You don't have to go into maps where PKL could potentially have an edge in terms of the calling. This is a guy that has been around for quite some time, has been under some crazy good banners in his career, and I think just that baseline level of playbook that he has could have lent itself to, you know, having an effective nuke, an effective overpass, but they can't really lean into that all too much in this veto, and funnily enough, they still were able to actually get it done regardless of this veto in our last best of 3 between these two. 16-12 and 13-11, it came pretty close and down to the wire. LP nearly had the opportunity to complete a sweep, or at least complete the series win, but they weren't able to get it over the line, and that just comes down to, do you have the individuals to get you in through those big moments? And I think Allison has to be that guy. I think Leo Monster is another person that I kind of look at to be the like kind of second win con for this team, but all in all, I mean, there just has to be support to make sure that this guy feels comfortable as far as Allison is concerned. And beyond that, I think the rest will kind of take care of itself.
Yeah. Well, we're going to run through some map stats for LP in particular. I was just actually taking a look on HLTV. These guys play a lot of Counter-Strike, actually. They are really, especially LP in particular, they are really repping a lot of these maps. You got like, 24 times played DOS 2, 23 times played Inferno, 20 on Nuke as well, 16 on Ancient. Like, they're actually playing a hell of a lot of Counter-Strike. Got that permaban of Anubis. On the flip side as well for FDB, they got that permaban of Ancient, hence why we kind of don't see those two come in. But if that Ancient had come through, obviously a very decent map for LP, which I'm sure they'd be happy with. But yeah, they're playing a lot of Counter-Strike, and actually to really decent success, as we can kind of see with kind of running through some of these. So I'd be really interested, for FDB, what it's like for them, where you'd make the argument they've got a couple of players that are like slightly more name value-wise, but ranking-wise are not even really close at the moment, especially in terms of kind of that world ranking. How it feels into kind of these like puggier maps.
It's interesting, right? I mean, for the fact of the matter is, South American map stats are kind of fascinating to look at because you're getting so many teams that have like 4 to 5 maps in the pool having over 20 times played because they've got so many LANs and events going on constantly. And I think that's something that's really nice for them is that they get their protocols down to a T. And, you know, especially these maps like Dust 2, Mirage, and Inferno, that playbook is shallow, but they can run through that playbook so often that they just thrive in chaotic situations, and you just get these exciting 3v3s and 2v2s to kind of decide some of these games. Now, it's a bit of a double-edged sword for sure, in the sense that, you know, there is some, you know, autopiloting in some of these games where, you know, they kind of just go through the motions, and I don't necessarily like that. I'd like my teams to be locked in when they're playing, but that is something that can happen when you play so many games of Counter-Strike, and we'll see if that kind of creeps into the conversation here when we get into our matchup, our first map of Dust 2 in the series.
Let's get the show on the road. I'm looking forward to this one. Oh, Allison already takes a peek, and he's actually very unfortunate not to get a kill. It'll come through a lot of early damage out here towards the T side, and an opening kill as well on towards CK Zhao. Very scrappy, but Detroit's going to answer back with one of his own.
Not the exciting start, at least now in the mid-round. Walking up the cat side, going straight into Allison. 21 HP. It doesn't matter. He wants to still duel. He gets flashed in, and Allison will find another, and just at the nick of time, fading away, catches Turtle. And instant impact here from Allison. They go bounding back into mid now. Hardzao and PKL, the duo that's been together since the Pain days, trying to battle back in a 2-on-4. You do find Allison eventually, but ZMB with the double dink. And it's just the captain, 5 HP to his name, looking for Leo, and he spotted him out, but there's just no way you can encroach upon him without taking some damage, and LP will get off to a hot start.
And that's what it's all about, right? Setting a bit of a tone. I mean, it came out, the gate started quite well. We got a dink all the way deep in towards Suicide, which honestly kind of felt unfortunate not to get the kill with it. Nade comes through, that'll see off CK's arm, and everything kind of started slotting itself into place. So, ultimately, for LP, what you want to see, right? On this CT side, take a bit of a turn on your opponent's map pick as well. Now we kind of look at this veto, and I mean, I don't really think there's going to be like drastic differences across all 3 of the maps in the veto here. These 2 sides are going to be absolutely fine, right? There's nothing new. When you Dust 2s, your Infernos, and Mirages, it does really come down to what your individuals can bring to the table, and these guys have all been pugging for years, so generally, it's about who steps up to the plate on the day. And Hardzao kicks off this round. We'll find the first, the Mac 10. Nade in hand, ZMB will fall.
Yeah, not the most ideal jump spot situation for ZMB, and an upgrade for Hards out of the MP7, a weapon that is still very potent in the right hands. He's got armor behind it as well. Mid smoke comes in, Leo Monster will clear it out, but CK Zhao has hit another banger out through long, so they're splitting in, and both these side anchors are going to feel a lot of pressure in just a couple of moments, and Divine hasn't even been able to find one. Allison now has got to come up big again, and he's been spotted bounding into that smoke, gets his head ripped clean off, and it's just Leo Monster, and this force buy has gone flawlessly, Neo.
Yeah, they're absolutely relentless. And it's a really poor one on the flip side for the CT side, right? Just for basically every single fight here, they're just getting overwhelmed. Is it going to be a flawless one? It is. Yeah. An ugly fight, but it's one in which Hardzao wins. He'll upgrade to that M4. It's a really poor one to lose there, though, for LP, right? I mean, for the first couple of engagements, it's just over fights, right? They're just exposed in the open way too easy, and in doing so, FTP put a little bit of pressure on it, and look where we're at now, right? It's scoreboard evened. Of course, you have to force buy in your LP here because you're in this double eco situation where you don't get a choice. Horrible predicament, but credit to the T side. That's great pressure they put on there, and it's relentless.
Agreed. Punishing these isolated duels for sure. Divine just has a knife, which, okay, picks up a USP off and spawn. I was going to say, you could at least have a stock pistol, man.
Yeah, do yourself a favor, really.
Moves back over, has that singular flash that he can use, but it's a pack mentality for LP. They know they're not going to get these isolated duels and win them this time around. But they've left short completely open, and a Cat XE is pretty much free real estate. They've spotted out a player out on ramp, and he should get obliterated by utility very shortly. Here comes CK Zhao, and he'll take out ZMB very swiftly. So, quick 5v4, and I think LP are making the right decision. Just gamble on this B bomb side, try to hold on to these guns, and see if you can double dip into round number 4.
Yeah, it's definitely just the right way to go about it. You gamble up in a round like this. If they come to you, obviously you fight and hope for the best. If they don't, as we're seeing here, you shell up safe and work with it in towards the next. But it will be a lead taken by the T side. And considering how decent the pistol looked, not exactly what LP were hoping for. Don't think it's really worth going for too much of a hunt here, to be honest. Looks like CK Zhao and MP9's got other ideas. So I guess you've got money. There could be more money to be made, but there also could be money to be lost here. Detroit will find the trade. Off the MP9 as well. A loose term on the upgrade here, but I guess also you're trying to make things a little bit more expensive and make this second attempt at the force buy-in towards round number 4 less of an issue. It is essentially, what, 2 5.7s, you've got 1 flash for Divine, a P250 for Leo Monster. They should have no issues.
100%. This is the chance for FDB to really start to rack up the rounds here on this T side. This is their own map pick after all. You want to set the tempo. Of course, I feel like matchups like these, when it is so even in the veto, if you can just lock in that first map, you set the tone of this series very quickly. And
yeah,
I feel like with a lot of South American teams, it is very momentum based.
I agree. It's like it's very much about how, like, their like mental is, right? Like their mood. They're so vibes based in a lot of these like kind of more mixier South American sides. Like if they're feeling crisp, they'll play really well, and if they get in their own head and they start to make kind of sloppy mistakes, Detroit, this fight will be his. Doesn't confirm it. A lot of Utah going to come behind too. Double nades in a bound round. DMB lucky to still be alive.
Cross through comes in no problem. They've spotted the mid lurk and they'll get a rifle to recover. Hards out. Not have more than one. So Leo will, or should, head for the hills. But he's going to stick around long side. I don't necessarily like this. But it looks like FDB don't want anything to do with this either. So they'll back away up through the spawn. And the rest of these players will play for exits. I'm surprised that these 5.7s had not played a little bit more aggressive to look for some kills, but actually get a freebie now. Allison does get cleared out though, and Detroit will make some extra cash. So that sniper from him can come out in round number 5 as early as he wants it. We'll see how active he wants to be here, if they want to just rock with the 5 rifle setup.
Oh.
And yeah, that's what I kind of right?
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say that you can see some real nice moments from FDB where they're just kind of relentless in their pace. Like, you can see this is a side that just want to fight, and if you're going to give them fights, they'll take them every day of the week. So LP have got to be really careful. I think there's probably going to be a bit of a call from LP, which is like, let's play guns up a little bit early and towards these rounds. Like, expect swings. We're not seeing, like, you know, too detailed of a round call by the T side here. Like I said, pretty vibes-based, pretty defaulty. They're reacting off the back of what space and kills that they get. So, hence where you want to stay guns up for the early kind of 30 seconds. It's basically how you counter somebody like a Boros.
Yeah, 100%. And you've got plenty of firepower on the side of LP. Just need to see if they can activate it. They don't have the utility to do so for right now, so they're going to plant Allison alone on the long side, and they're going to maneuver ZMB and Divine back over to the short side. Deep mollies for this FDB side, but they aren't able to get off the CT, so it's going to have to be some hard duel. They toss in the mid to B smokes. And now Divine wants to play ahead. Gets to activate that AWP as soon as possible with another player playing anti, but Divine will still take that opening pick.
PKL hits the deck. Turtle waiting for his chance. All the time being. Well, goes really quiet. 35 seconds, don't have loads of time. And a double that'll come through. Massive work from ZMB. He's actually lucky to get away with a second there for Detroit and Turtle. Surely no chance in hell. I mean, first Sepp is recovering this C4, which feels next to impossible. Surely around here for the CT side. Turtle. He's wrapping the A site, I guess, but his teammate's dead to rights. Now the best he can do is keep this M4 alive. He has plenty of money, so I guess he doesn't need to go and die for the loss bonus. Not only that, he will keep the M4 alive, but a second round on the board for LP. Lovely shutdown in towards mid. ZMB does super well.
Yeah, that's all ZMB there. And the proactivity to move back around and push through the long doors, also huge. They had that smoke up onto the bombs, so they don't really have a complete idea if it's been picked up or not. So just making sure that the door is closed behind them and there's no way for FDB to get back into it. So we have a bounce back around there from LP. And now a challenge from Divine. Very bold, if I do say so myself. And Detroit cannot punish his mistake. With that, CK Zhao will go charging into the lower tunnels. And FDB can start to stretch their legs a little bit here in round number 6. Shot from Allison, though.
He's looking
That's
sharp.
nice.
I can see what you like about him. He's so confident.
Yeah, he doesn't ever want to give up on fights. I've never seen someone back down from a fight ever like him.
Flashing towards mid. PKL going to be sent out here. That smoke that covers the cross from CT is denying Divine from catching somebody on the cross. But they're taking a sweet time with crossing what feels, at least on the surface, like it would be like a B split here. But split to lose terminus. There's no upper B tunnels presence. They'll re-smoke that. They do have a nade to break open the smoke, but they'll probably only do it once they hear steps coming through. And there is the break on the smoke. ZMB does well. Second break on the smoke as well, and ZMB's there. Can he make it a third? He can. Another 3k round for ZMB, and there's a potential of the fourth as well as Hardzao is all that's left. 25 seconds. No chance.
Yeah, you're getting some nice impact out of ZMB. This is really good. Back-to-back triple kills from him. And now Hardzao will be shot in the back. And Allison actually pushed all the way through the upper tunnels to get there. So LP bounce right back, and they're slowly chipping away at the funds of this T side. But with these 3 rounds that they were able to rack up so many bomb plants, keep so many men alive, that forces plenty of rebuys that they can have. And it makes LP's lives that much more difficult to claw their way back, but they're doing it the hard way. And they're doing it off the back of ZMB specifically and Allison in these early round situations, and then resting on those man advantages. And now Allison goes aggressive in the lower tunnels. He has an opportunity at a couple more here. He is alone. He doesn't have support from his teammates. Doesn't really have much other than, you know, the AWP in middle, but now he's walking away as well. Allison considering moving up, but he'll plant himself right here.
Actually a good position as well. If they decide to cancel from B, he'll have a couple dead to rights. No way, he's going to get checked. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, my God. He's half checked it. Such a quick reaction, but maybe Trigger Discipline could have been his friend there, because they're going to cancel and come back in towards lower tunnel. He could have had a couple dead to rights, but he shoots on first sight. On the cross. Can't quite catch them as they move towards Xbox, but there is a world they double back and try to look in through door. How short they go. 45 seconds. There's 2 players towards A here to meet them.
They do still have Molly, so ZMB will not have the easiest time here, but he still finds his man initially, and now they're starting to cross over, and the crossfire can really wreak havoc. Hap does his job on the long corner side, and LP get right back to it. They continue this streak. It's now 4 on the trot, and they've retained so many players alive as well, Neo, that they're slowly starting to like have their grasp in this game. It feels like they are in control.
Oh. Money's run dry for the T side, so feel like this one should be a freebie for LP. Allison. Oh. Drops a nade around the corner. Second one as well will come from his teammate. The flash is fantastic, but Allison doesn't swing off the back of it. Should have 2 dead to rights here. Molly will force out a fight. Allison, he's relentlessly confident. I do feel like at times this is surely... Maybe, you know, there's like a ceiling to this. Like, I feel like at this level you can get away with it. Obviously, at like a higher level, he'd get punished all the time. But
yeah, it's
at this
very
level, it's
weird.
fine.
I have never seen him get punished so far. And as you kind of mentioned, if it's this tier, maybe it's okay. And it's a little worrying, you know, for me, if he ever gets that call up to a bigger org. Yeah,
it's very one-dimensional, isn't it?
Yeah, is it fool's gold that you think that he can be this guy that is so in your face and can be the aggro rifler to change your organization? Or is there a limit? And unfortunately, we can't really get an answer.
Where's he play CT sides? Like generally,
I mean, anywhere, right?
Is it like, more hero-y or is it like more anchor-y? Is that kind of my...
It is pretty hero-y. I mean, you've seen him on the long side. You've seen him push through short. You've seen him in lower. He's pushed upper before. He's everywhere, really.
And same with like Mirage. We would see like through connector, for example. Would that be like where he would generally play like through short? Like he'd be like... Because this is the thing. Like I feel like you can really tell the difference between like, you know, a good mechanical player and then like a top player, depending on like their like choice of times to aggress. I mean, so far we've basically only seen them aggressive. So I do wonder whether like if the T side starts to pick up a bit of form, whether he has like a second gear to him where he can like rein himself back in, or maybe that's on the IGL to rein him back in.
Yeah, I think they do leave him to his own devices a lot of the times, and he does call a lot of his shots because I frankly have not seen as many tempered rounds from him as I've seen aggressive ones. And clearly it's working. If they've been able to make the final for the last cup and are still in the upper bracket here, I think they're going to keep running that strategy back. But it's a good conversation to keep in mind as this team continues to develop. These nades have been massive, though. PKL and CK Zhao, sub 40 HP. 30 seconds left on the clock. Now they just got to go into A.
They're diving through. Once made their way down in towards CT on the drop, but a double spray down. CK's now going to get one, looking for a second, but he can't quite find it. ZMB is there, but a long lurk from Turtle will deliver. Time is ticking. Boys, we got to make a move here, and they are both one bullet from death. Detroit will hit the shot. He's trying to get the plant, but surely they just run up on him, and they will. No plants to come through, and another round for the CT side. LP up to 6.
It feels like this ramp player has been able to get a multi every round. There's no utility on the back of ramp. There's not even a long corner smoke to at least cut off one of those two angles. They're dealing with that crossfire almost every round. They're doing a cat XE, and you're never going to be able to get out into the A bomb site if you're not able to cut off at least one of those angles. So for me, it feels like some of the protocols are a little lacking on this side of the map for FDB. And LP are just taking this to the house. Divine doesn't necessarily land that shot there, but it's a little bit of chip damage on the way out. And, of course, with his HP being low, he still has a chance to have a chance in the round. But Detroit with a banger of a Deagle headshot. The danger man of Allison is out of this one, and he's pistol by, may have a little bit of legs to it.
Sticking together as well. I kind of like this pack mentality that we've got going. Turtle should be dead here. Operative word. Spotted. Tagged once. He'll be given the luxury of getting out as well. Divine, what have you got for us? Dangerous. On the peak, he'll lose his head. CK Zhao. Bye-bye. Divine, next round for you, buddy. He's struggled to really get going in towards this one. This is a very doable round now. 5v3 in the post plant, and they're just grouping together. Smoke's down for the CT as well to make life difficult for ZMB to get out. This is starting to tick. There's a couple of kits to work with. There's still plenty of Utor, but these are long-range duels, which a Deagle would have a whale of a time with. They kind of look like they're still deciding whether they actually want to give this a go. And with ZMB being caught, I think they're going to rein themselves back in. What a round to take. Leo Monster might potentially even go down to the bomb here as well. This might be in full HP. It's a pretty decent radius. Hap, I don't think we need to be fighting. Leo Monster will go down regardless. Hap will hide in the smoke. Oh my god. So he survives with the AWP. Ships in the night as they sail past each other.
It's weird that nobody even wanted to spam that smoke. Just off rip. They just kept chasing into Longhouse. But Hap will stay alive. Drop the AWP back to Divine. But yeah, you've kind of mentioned that there's definitely been some struggles for Divine. It's not like they're not giving him his fair shot. He's had some opportunities at openers, but he has not connected. Meanwhile, Detroit on the other end is doing a lot of work on that AWP. Lands the tag on Allison. Slows him down a little bit, and you'll see that now he's just going to cower on the back of the B bomb site. Rightfully so. Flash up in through the middle, and now LP, or FDB rather, have just a lot more space to work with now that they don't have to deal with any lower aggression.
Break on the smoke. Azal will hold behind. Smoke on towards shore. There's no decision just yet for the T side, but it's just feeling like it's got the ideals of a B split. Allison's low. But decent timing on that smoke, and it goes deep as well.
Still plenty of utility here.
Yeah, one of the good things about deep smoke too, that I've seen a lot of teams start doing recently, is the second they see like a door smoke come over, you can throw a molly still in the entrance of tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because of the way that molly spreads, it ends up being like, rather than being wide, it is long, so you tick for longer.
Right, and you'd have to waste another smoke to extinguish it.
Oh, Allison.
I'm gonna go through this.
Oh,
and
how?
Allison's found two. I just don't know how this guy always finds a
There's
way
the molly.
to have impact in the round. And yeah, there is that molly. 10 seconds left. Detroit wants nothing to do with this. And it just feels like the game is in Allison's control sometimes when he's just in these situations. He's low HP and still finds impact in the round. And Detroit's going to try to hold on to this gun, but he's getting flanked. Beautiful little bait and switch there from Allison and Hap.
No money,
and
bro.
LP, yeah, LP just completely run Detroit's pockets.
Yeah. Thankfully, he gets a drop. But he doesn't get armor. You can't be dropping armor, so...
Yeah.
Glass cannon for him in round number 12. Really decent chance for LP here. You get 8-4 on the CT sides. You're loving life. Oh, of course. Glass cannon, but he still makes it work. Hap, the first to fall to Detroit. One nade and he could have been dead from that position, but he's so confident to take the fight.
Ooh, look at this. Aggression into the upper tunnels. Divine shows his face a little bit. ZMB, meanwhile, goes spamming through that long smoke and gets eradicated. Divine is still here and does catch Turtle on the fadeaway, so they're not going to be able to get up in through long for free. And they've dealt with the late lurk and hards out as well. So 3-on-3. Bomb should be able to cross safely. And this AWP for Detroit can get planted on back of ramp. So it's going to just be a 3-player long retake that's going to have to do the trick.
Yell holds. Shoulder spotted. Detroit. Another. For the glass cannon. Oh my god, and he was close to getting the third there as well. PK out. They know the last is a Divine, and there's no chance he's winning that. He's had a very slow first half. Only 3 kills to his name. And 5 deaths. For the most part, he's been out there doing cardio in this first half. And down he'll fall to Detroit. Glass cannon gets 3 kills. What a way for him to find a 5th for FDB. We're going to head to a break now before the second half. Welcome back. Honestly, what started to look like a very, very good first half from LP, there was actually a little bit of a crumble at that tail end, and the T-side ended up getting up towards 5. Detroit with a 3-piece on the glass cannon. All it takes here from FDB, CT side pistol to kickstart the second half, and all the good work they did in the first was kind of for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, and LP want to start off the right way, but there's aggression coming in from Hards out all the way up through mid. Yeah, this is quite standard for South American CS. You always have a guy come up mid. It's just like our Melba Pugs.
He's in suicide.
It's unreal. And look at PK. Look at PKL. He's charging up as well, and both
Allison
of them have gone down. Allison, of course, Allison knows.
Because Allison was doing it in the first half.
Yeah. Exactly. And now they have themselves a 5-on-3. They're just going to group together up in the upper tunnels, and CK's out is going to get destroyed in about 15 seconds.
Yeah, he's about to face all 5 Glocks lined up. They do have a molly for him as well. Oh, I don't even need it. They don't even need it. Throw it anyway, but honestly, it feels like a waste. Could have been safe for window, to be perfectly frank. The remaining 2, Detroit and Turtle. A lot to do here. The wide swing from window. ZMB is confident. Don't know whether he spot the guy up close towards door, but he's going to swing for that fight. He'll eventually lose his life, as he should have a long time ago by how much he was fighting. And do you know what? I'm actually kind of surprised they're giving this a go. I'll tell you, for free in EU, they would have saved a long time ago. And they'll be nowhere near this. But they're playing for exits, and Turtle's up close. At this point in EU, they would have been in Big Pit.
That's true. They would have been kicking the soccer ball around in T-spawn.
No, genuinely. Oh my god, he's tapping the bomb.
That's crazy. You don't have a smoke either, man.
Yeah.
I just... Okay.
I guess Divine goes down, but he had no armor, so he doesn't really care. He had no armor, no investment.
Yeah.
He brought Utah, which he used to win them the round, so Divine doesn't really care that he's gone down. An 8th for LP.
Now, you got a force buy from FDB, which contains a Mag 7 from Hards Out, a Scout.
Where is the Mag 7
for Detroit,
going?
and yeah, I'd like to know it too.
When do you ever see a Mag 7 on Dust 2? Like on Inferno Half Full, I get it. On like Nuke Top Hut, I get it.
Oh,
Mirage
he's
Van?
close range tons.
That's a terrible spot for it. One flash, one molly. I mean, maybe I guess like top bricks is fine, but like there's just no need for LP to dive out and rush B. So
well,
what's going to happen
three
is
players a chance here.
He's about to have a long range duel with this thing. Actually, we're saying that he is full blind and he's dead, so it's all useless. It ends up being completely pointless. What I thought was going to happen is that he was going to be crossing to big box on site and just get caught in the open. He ends up tucking towards door and then just gets full blinded.
He's hoping to God that just there's some way that the flash goes away and he can shoot at least one bullet to say it was worth it. And he just doesn't even get to get one shell off. And now LP, they get double digits for free. They go into a triple stack on the B bomb site. The flashers are really well placed and can't really fault them for not being able to convert that round. Look at that flash, man. Just for days, Divine winning them the round with that one flash. And they don't even get to keep any of the guns.
Yeah, that is, it's a beaut. LP in a really good spot. They should be getting 10-5 here. That's such a risky fight from LP. Fighting down Suicide at range against Eagles with a Galil. Oh, Turtle, nice shot. He's sticking up close. He wants more. I mean, you're not going to flash him. Of course, he's just going to stay up close and continue fighting. Where's the flash through door? Where's the flash over long? They just peek dry. No smoke, nothing.
Sure. That's Allison for you, man. It's like the Chad meme.
To be fair, though, he's 16-7, so I really can't, I can't hate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I was like you when I first watched Allison, just questioning what the ceiling was, why he's doing what he's doing. Then eventually you just realize, you look at the scoreline and you just say, you know what? Do whatever you want. You know what you're doing. Oh. Nice little sequence there from Hardzao. Gets himself a dink. Nearly had another one. Kill if he wants to play through that, can. But now that it's being spammed, it's definitely being watched. Another player spotted out on the window. He takes a nade, and he'll take some Galil bullets as well. So guns still are up. The rifles are still retained. And Turtle will try to get to upper as fast as possible. It hasn't been heard, at least initially, so we had a little bit of surprise, but now he's making no secret of it. Nobody's showing any face, and FDB should save. PKL has found one more, though, and if LP keep offering bodies, then of course they'll have a look in. But
yeah, that's
surely this should be over.
ZMB, we'll see off Turtle. And a dink on towards the Vine. He gets a couple of kills to his name. ZMB's up to 15 as well, so I've been praising Allison. ZMB's also been such a consistent name that I feel like I've been bringing up. And double the rounds now of FDB. 10-5. And coming back in towards where there's going to be another buy. It's sort of do or die for FDB for me. Like, I feel like if you don't win this, you're playing for overtime, and I just don't really think you have that much of a chance to find. God, that's risky. That's so risky, and he gets away with it.
And somehow, he's still relentless up catwalk. He is that catwalk at a minute 35. There's no mid-door smoke. And he's had a chance at Detroit once again. And they're going to continue this up-tempo. Leo Monster's now outdoors. Divine now has a sniper back out through doors as well. And they're just going to continue. They double smoke CT. And they just go off the back of this. They're charging into this B bomb at a minute 15. AWP doesn't find anything. But the trades look absolutely fantastic. They still have a 2-on-2. And somehow, Neo, they're still favored in the post.
Somehow. Ollie down. Trying to buy enough time here. Playing through that car angle. Shoulder spotted. Hap could very easily be tucked safely behind bricks. Oh my god, Allison can't get both. I will have to say, with hindsight from that round, why Hap isn't just tucked head down towards bricks and just playing time, I do not know. That felt unnecessary, I will say, just to be on that car angle. And then to whiff off the back of that too. Like, come on now.
You look real red-faced if you just whiff like that. It's pretty embarrassing. Unfortunately, we all saw that. There was no camera switch, unfortunately. We all saw it, and now they do bring it down to a one-on-one, mind you. So the finances are still not the greatest for FDB, and there's still a chance here for LP to run away with this map of Dust 2 if the CT side is not careful. This time around, they slow it down. They've finally been humbled after losing such a fast-paced round. And they'll toss in that mid-util. But Detroit still unrelenting here on Catwalk. Hoping that he can find something to get a 5-on-4. But nothing just yet.
Oh. Missed shot. Yeah, we'll fall. That's so close here. Flash will be avoided. Leo Monster waiting for his opportunity. Because that CT molly, it'll slow them down. They don't have to commit here either.
No, they definitely don't. That smoke kind of forces them to fall back. And now just completely stand still. 50 seconds left on the clock. You still have upper control. You're watching the long flank as well. A lot of options at your disposal here if you are LP. And Hardzao is worried about somebody dropping into the CT spawn. It's all over the place for both of these sides. But Leomon's just going to go walking out of the doors and just rips ahead clean off. Mid to B now open for business, and CK Zhao has just a mere MP9. He's trying to push down into CK Zhao, or sorry, into Hap's crosshairs. But he's not going to win that fight, and that should be round over. If I'm FDB, I want to save these guns straight away, but Detroit's now is going to give us position away in just a little bit, and the hunt is on.
Yeah, that's the right call to go hunting. Even if you end up like feeding a little bit, I still think it's actually worthwhile. Hap around this corner, waiting to see whether he peers through long. Oh no, missed shot. He's running low on ammo, and Leo Monster's flanked in behind. Beautiful stuff.
And that's
11.
Money chopped. And
That's
yeah,
it.
money's 11. Rounds 11, and money is gone. So FDB have a decision to make. Do you want to force in here twice, or do you want to save and see if you can make the comeback across what, 6 rounds? And I think they're going to go for the latter. It was a Mag 7 purchased again, but thankfully Hardzao sold. What?
DMB. Oh, Hardzao. The transfer is not there for Allison. Uh-oh. And a leg on towards Turtle. He's very lucky to still be alive, but he is alive. Nade comes over. Leo Monster, look down. He's still so focused. His teammates already cleared that corner, but it's fine. Smoke towards short.
No, why you use a smoked short? Now there's no CT cross. Oh, okay, there's another one. There was
Okay,
another one. We're all
site.
good.
We're all good. Molly behind it. Or breaking it's a bold choice, especially when your teammate's planting, but
Wild.
yeah, feels unnecessary, but it's fine. Molly will come down as well. They're just throwing the kitchen sink in towards short here to try and see if anyone's here. I haven't seen anybody either. Leo Monster's made noise. He's lost his head. Why are we fighting, boys? Why are we fighting? They're going to lose this round, aren't they? Divine all onto him. He's had a bit of a stinker up until this point, and he nearly makes up for it. I don't know if they have time. No kit. He's like, not going to kit. They've lost it. LP are going to win the round.
Well, Divine's just done enough. Just repelled enough defenders off the long box, and it works out. They get themselves to that map point. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he doesn't instantly hit that headshot, it's pretty much done and dusted. But they do take heavy casualties, and FDB now will have the guns out. They gave a real shot at it. Obviously, should never be that close. Should never be getting in that situation in the first place. But for LP, they'll be happy that they got it over the line and now look to steal away their opponent's map pick here.
Now or never to stay alive here for the CT side. The spam from Leo Monster is excellent. Turtle will get one back in blood, but he sticks up behind the smoke. How is he still alive? Not for much longer. Down he goes, and Divine, it's a nice shot as well. We haven't said that too often in this game, but he picks his moment and he picks it well. Surely 2 versus 4, surely unlosable.
Oh well, where there's a will, there's a way, Neo.
It's true. Maybe I've just spoken into existence.
Yeah, I mean, the bomb has still not crossed off the back of this smoke. It's still up for a little bit, so now it's able to come over. They've spotted Hardzao on the back of the site, and yeah, not being able to scope in there is going to be really difficult. And shading a shot there, man, I think there's maybe even 5 players in the world that I'd expect to hit that shot, and they're not in the server right now, Neo. 13-6 go LP. And LP get that first map win in style.
Yeah, the first half, it was, you know, a little bit close. And we're talking about, like, there was, like, nice moments at times from FDB, but it fell apart in the second half. There really just was not enough on offer. And big questions now, really, about this next map coming up, just because LP, they look so confident and so comfortable, too. It's a real worry, and definitely not enough has been shown here. I don't know if I have the belief for FDB. I mean, that was their map pick.
Yeah, I'm not really that excited about what's in store for FDB when individually beyond Detroit they weren't that inspiring, and you've got the win condition that you're looking for the LP side, and you didn't really need much out of Divine. He still showed up for you in some of those critical rounds at the end. So all of a sudden, this rifle core looks pretty strong for LP, and I think that's going to carry itself in terms of momentum, as we kind of spoke about in the pre-show, moving on into the series, that I'd favor them for the rest of this best of three.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you, and I really think there's going to have to be quite a stark conversation to be had for FDB in terms of just like how do we mentally recover from this. We're going to have to find out. We've got map number 2 coming up after a short break, and to be honest, as we head into it, we don't really know what to expect. It's going to be Inferno. It's coming up next. It's LP's pick. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back in. Map number 2 about to get underway here after a very interesting Dust 2 to kickstart things here, Paladin. It was pretty even at the half, 7-5, but LP ran away with things in that second half.
Sorry, there was plenty of space for LP to kind of do as they pleased in that map of Dust 2 as soon as they switched over. And now we move over to Inferno, where I just feel like the win conditions of this team are just going to be amplified. Allison has way more opportunities to get aggressive through Banana. You know, ZMB can have some good anchoring moments as well, no matter what side he chooses. And that just makes things a lot more easier for Divine to really pick his spots. I don't think he has to really feel all too uncomfortable on this map by any means.
Yeah, I agree, and I really do wonder now for your opponents in a spot off the back of a really poor map. How do you then recover coming in towards this? They need a strong start. Pistol forced by first gun round. Got MVP off the back of that. So the one you highlight is Allison, right? Ends up being a fantastic asset. He's just so relentless, so aggressive, and at times overly aggressive, but he didn't really get punished for it, so I can't really blame him for continuing to hold down W and flying towards these fights. A really, really cool map from him.
Yeah, there's definitely a ceiling, I would say, for Allison, but for right now, whatever we're seeing out of him is very exciting. It's riveting CS when he can kind of pull so many players towards his position, and he still finds ways to take down multiple before he falls himself. So we get to move on to Inferno, where I feel like you can thrive in these kinds of situations a lot more. You can create these scenarios and, again, just feel very comfortable in it as well. And so I'll be very curious to see how Allison wants to operate on this map. Like, is he going to just be that banana demon that is charging down as much as he can on the CT side and looking for entries on the T side, or is he going to be in apartments? Is he going to be in brackets? Is he that rotator, essentially? I think that'll be the biggest question mark that I have for LP. And for the FDB side of things, it's who's going to be the guy that steps up, because it can't just be Detroit. I mean, he's had some moments, but you really do need a rifler to step up, and I don't feel like there's been that guy just yet to really pop his head.
No, I think you're right. I really feel like it's at times felt kind of a little bit one-man army-ish, and that's not enough. It's not good enough, right, in kind of the spot they're in and the expectations for this side. So we need a couple extra kind of players on Lions, keep the pressure on, and especially considering that the really kind of problematic thing is that for LP, they've actually had a few different people who stepped up, right? It's not only been Allison, even towards that tail end as well. We actually saw Divine having a couple of moments, which, you know, he was kind of quiet all map, but he kind of picked and chose a few, right? This is the thing. I just feel like there's way too much firepower on display for this side comparatively. Like, you know, credit to him. Outside of Allison, I thought ZMB had a really, really good game, especially that first half in particular. I thought he had really, really solid. I thought Hap had a couple of moments here and there when he looked alright. Leo Monster and Divine maybe a little bit quiet, sure, but again, it's like just one of those where I think at the moment you just got way more people on towards LP you can fall back on, rather than what feels like a bit of a one-man army towards FDB. So yeah, I don't know. I'm concerned. I just felt like it wasn't enough.
You speak about Divine having a bit of a quiet map. He's still very pertinent and important clutches that he had towards the end of it. I mean, these games, of course, have very lopsided scores. 13-6 is where we end it, but there's a real world where that can turn into like a 13-10 or like an overtime situation. I know that sounds ridiculous, but MR12 is a very fickle thing, and things can turn on a dime straight away. So the big rounds from Divine towards the end still shows that he's got it in him to find a little bit more impact as well. So I think for LP, top to bottom, you've got everybody you could ask for. For FDB, you've got all the players on paper that should be there to get you a win. But that's not happening right now, and you've got to find out what that win condition is and who it can be reliably, because you're not having otherworldly calling from PKL like you've seen previously. You're not seeing that tried and true consistent rifling anchoring work from Hardzao and Turtle. And I guess you've had some sparks from CK Zhao, but it's got to be something a little bit more consistent to a position where Detroit is, again, not the only guy that's getting you multi-kills on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's it. Well, with that being said, we are live and ready to get this show on the road. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this one pans out. We get more of the same. Just relentlessly aggressive, and well, it might be the same here. Leomonster the first to fall for the CT side, but the final get one before he is then caught. Detroit. Decent space here towards top mid. Needs to be careful out towards long. Allison's there. Danger man, but look at this move that can net two, and Hap does exactly that. Such a bold move. He spotted another. He'll eventually fall. 2 versus 2 here. Allison will talk. He's playing information.
Weird 2-on-2 here. Both players split up. Detroit's got the bomb on his back. And Allison has heard these footsteps and has called his teammate over. But that's the wrong play. Allison now going to move forward. See if he can catch Detroit on the fadeaway. And he does. But doesn't pull the trigger. We'll be able to close the gap. But gives away too much of a sound cue. Thought Detroit would have started running all the way into B, but he completely pumped the brakes. So now ZMB thrust into a 1-on-2, and he's going to continue to push down. He's not giving away his position necessarily, but Detroit is still so wary of this possibility and has that crosshair placement down to a T. Quad kill for him, and I mean, we want to speak about other players to step up. It doesn't really matter when Detroit's hitting like that.
A decent start. For a side who we obviously had our worries about coming into it. It's a very dysfunctional pistol round. Easy could have swung either way, but somehow it's FDB who walk away with it. Force back going to come through. It's Hap with a FAMAS, and the rest of the side wielding just 5.7s. A fair decent amount of util to work with. Does Leo Monster decide to drop this nade? Now is the answer, and it's a pretty decent one. Chip damage on towards PKL and CK Zhao. It's going to make them a little bit more vulnerable to that 5-7. But he is all alone here. He's got a smoke to try and slow them down at least.
We'll see if he wants to deploy that one early. Might even have an extra smoke, but it doesn't matter. It looks like at this rate, they're just going to go through that utility. So they do have nades to kick it open as well. The Leo Monster trying to play in front of that smoke, but it's completely bullied out of it. Doesn't even have any extra utility to slow them down. So it's going to be a unicorn round essentially here for FDB to win out. And they'll get themselves that 2-0 start.
Why have we got this unicorn round and a bit of a throwaway? And I just had a bit of a funny thought in my head that I wanted to entertain you with.
Go on.
So we all know that FaZe just missed out on the major, right? I've been enjoying it. Hate watching, as the kids call it.
We all do it.
Yeah, I just realized. Do they not have to go like straight to the airport because they got to fly to Bucharest for a game tomorrow against Inner Circle? Long day for them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even take the O3 because it's Inner Circle, right? And they're so far down in the VRS that it's just gonna ruin your day. Yeah, so you have to play the game. It's not looking good over there in Cyprus. I'll tell you that much for free.
Well, they're not even in Cyprus. Then
right,
Serbia,
they're in Belgrade. Correct. Yeah. Well, it's a shorter flight.
Yeah, it's true. Only maybe an hour.
Don't have to stew in it for an extra hour, so
God,
that's nice.
I would hate to be sitting next to Carrigan on that plane.
Frozen, maybe.
Yeah.
Got the 1.45 for you.
True. It's like you're just some unknowing random person. Like, hey mate, you're on holiday.
I don't want to hear it.
Shut up. Leave me alone. I hear Bucharest is nice this time of the year. You sightseeing? After they lose that best of 3, they will be sightseeing.
All of a sudden, we've got an extra week here.
Oh, I'm crying. Oh, man. Watch out. It's going to die.
Hab's got a 5-on-4. And with
It's too late in the night for me, man.
It is. See, I've still got my wits about me. It's still 6 p.m. We're getting to midnight for you. This is where
goes
things
3
go
maps, you're gonna get a wild me. Oh man. Anyway, numbers advantage for LP. There's not a lot of time left here. 30 seconds. EMB. In a dicey game, but he will get out.
Only 2 players here, and that's the main issue, is that even though there was little time on the clock, I mean, there's no real way to establish a crossfire. Flashes were good again. Detroit just putting in so much work. Now doing it with the flashes. And you're going to get another save here. Listen, I'm down to just talk about other CS at this point if we're getting these saves. Inferno frustrates me so much, man.
Nah, it does
it makes a lot of sense to make this decision, right? To save 3 guns here, but I don't know. We've tried so many iterations of this map, and yet still the result is still the same. If you're in a man disadvantage, you're not going for the retake.
Yeah. No, I'm exactly with you. I mean, this map really does annoy me. Like, Jane, what you have done to the beautiful game.
Hey,
You
man,
hate to say it.
he's doing his job. He's doing his job.
Do you know what? It's one of the things, like, kind of what you're talking about there. Like, it just makes sense. Like, statistically, this is how, you know, each and every round, like, the percentage chance of you winning that retake is so low on Inferno, but God, it does make it a bit boring. Which actually, like, sometimes where I find, as much as kind of, like, South American Counter-Strike gets its plaudits for being quite, like, puggy, it's not, like, crazy in terms of, like, moments like that, where, like, a 2 versus 4. But Asian Counter-Strike, they're giving that one a go, 100%. Because they know they know they have a buy-in towards the next round anyway, so they're always giving rounds like that a go, which is what makes that pretty fun. That feels like kind of like 2015 CS.
Yeah, you've seen like the rare atom like ninja diffuses and things like that. Like
Yeah.
they're thinking
Wild.
every round is possible, which is awesome. Allison certainly thinks so as well. Double kill from him off the arch side. And PKL has found another one in the apartment, so kind of 2vx situation. Allison had nades out there, tries to get his smoke off, and Divine can't swing his crosshair over the other way, so FDB continuing this clean sheet alive, and doesn't feel like LP have really felt comfortable here.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the CT side here, Monster. If you give the luxury of keeping all of the M4, but then I'll be about that, and the remaining 30 seconds on this C4. They've realised he's not giving this one a look in, so they're actually going to go start searching for him. And too right, they got money to work with on the T side, so why wouldn't you? Question being now, actually, will he stay alive? Are they going to go... Surely you go have a look towards B at the very least. Pretty common angle to save. But they don't. They go searching in every nook and cranny in towards T-Apps, but... To be 4-0. First time out going to be taken here by LP. It's a smart call. These have been some really quite dodgy CT rounds at the moment. They're just getting run over on these executes.
It's because, I mean, they're frankly playing like 2 players on A. Like, they're losing a body very early, and then they're just playing 2-2 standard, and that is just not going to cut it. No matter what guns you have, you can only hold so much of the A bomb site at a certain point. You're having MAC-10s charge in your face. You're having Molotovs cut off multiple angles, and it's just going to turn everything into a nightmare situation. So either you've got to be a little bit more gambly, or you've got to be just a little bit more aggressive. Either way, LP have got to make a stylistic change if they want to claw their way back. Because right now, this doesn't really feel like much of a competition in terms of like the tactics, right? Tactically, they seem light years apart.
Yeah, one step. That saved them 4. I was going to play up close towards Banana. Oh, nearly catch a CK's out. The nade might do it, and it does. So an opener for the CT side. good first step. Something that they've actually been struggling with, opening kills. Leomon's taking a lot of damage.
I'll be happy with that 5-on-4 though. That's really nice. Now you can, even if you've got Leo Monster on low HP, you can play this 3-player crossfire out way more. But now they're going in for a gamble on the A side. I don't like this necessarily in a man advantage situation, but it might work out in their favor. Again, PKL wants to call his troops over to brackets, and Divine will have that first contacts off Arch. 45 seconds left on the clock. PKL loves to take his time here with these A takes. Here comes those smokes. So right place at the right time. Now LP just have to put it over the line.
Odds down. Diving around the corner. Actually feel like he's pretty hard done by there not to get that kill. This round, surely now a write-off for FDB. It's hard to throw this one away. Positive trades will come through, leaving all on the shoulders of Detroit. And he's got to be dead to rights in a second. He is. Divine will see him off with the 5-7. And off the back of their attack pause, success immediately for LP.
Finally, we get a round for LP, and it only took 4 players on that A-bomb site.
True.
But now they're going to have to do it. I mean, you can't gamble that often and get away with it, really. At this point, it's just conditioning that worked in their favor. They were reading that FDB's taking brackets late every round, that you can stack 4 players, but now's where things get tough. You've got to see if you can get a bit of map control to make these rounds a little easier, and they'll take Banana for free, and Leo does get himself an opener and a second through the smoke. Can he get out is the question. Probably. He lives on 2 HP, and they've got themselves a 5-on-3.
Another one. Surely from a spot like this. Feels unlikely to let slip. They're waiting behind that smoke. The MB will spot one. He's got a smoke of his own. He's got a rush as well. You just play over towards that CT angle, jiggle peek for information. If he spots one, drops the smoke, slows him down. Again, there we go. Smoke down. Under a minute on the clock, it means when they dive in towards this B site, it's going to be very, very late. We're going to boost one up on towards plant here. Especially as they're moving their way in. This could be huge. Allison could be the deal breaker in this. He spots and drops the bomb. But there's still plenty of time to recover it. 30 seconds to work with. But a 2 versus 4 is not easy. They're reboosting Allison up. He's been spotted. But Detroit dies as he drops down. A second for PKL. Let's not overfight him here now, lads. Let's kind of rein ourselves back in a second. Dive through the molly. The nade could be huge. Doesn't quite find PKL. He's 3 points of HP. Tap on towards the bomb. He's waiting. There's the first. Oh no. My God, he's going to win it. Are you kidding me? How? How has PKL won that, LP? What are we doing?
Habs clipped the edge of the corner there, trying to bound back into the church, and he gets caught with his pants down. Oh, brother, I mean, you can send one player out there, but you can't send out both. That's just unruly. Giving up a 1v3, essentially, to the captain like that, who's not necessarily the most technically skilled player, that's egg in the face for sure. How do you really bounce back from that? I couldn't tell you. Just that's abysmal.
Yeah, that's a really poor round to let slip. Nonsensical fighting. No surprising, cost them. They're in the close corner. DK's out, struggles with that. ZMB, as he falls, Leo Monster's looking for the trade, but he can't get it. B-side briefly open, but a smoke down at a good time. Allison, we don't need to overfight here. It's alright. We don't need to overfight, but he will. 1 for 1. And how 1 versus 2? It's a long rotate. Divine will be first here, but he's very far away.
Whoa, nading up in the smoke. Little worrying going up against the sniper of Detroit. He's had a couple of solid clutches in this series. And now has got to follow up on what his captain did in the round previous. Again on this B-bomb site. Couple of flashes here to get ready, but they're just going to contact and walk hand in hand. Contact taken from Divine and now position known. But how can Hap figure this one out? He's still got a nade in his hands. Can throw that one in, and Hap will just go jumping up. He's got a kit, so he should have this defuse, but oh boy, you know, it feels like they're doing all the heavy lifting in this early round and just cannot put it over safely.
Yeah, they're really just fumbling and stumbling over the line. It's a tough watch at times. I mean, yes, a second round on the board, but God, tooth and nail to get over the line in some of these. Even Allison there, it just feels like you didn't need to overfight. Like, it's so close for no reason. LP, they get a second, but it comes with quite a cost. You can actually see the knock-on effect of said cost. MP7 and MP9 have to be brought in towards round number 8. I mean, she ends up being the buy, very similar to FDB, whose economy is also ran dry as well. This is a huge swing round. Winner of this, you don't only get the round of round number 8, but round number 9 is basically a gift, because the money will be broken on the flip side.
Ooh, big dink on the Detroit there. They're still encroaching up on the half wall. They've got to be aware of this. Molly in Leo Monster's face, and he takes a hefty nade as well. This CT side is not willing to give up car at all. Fighting very far ahead. Finally, they'll bound away. But this time, they've got to post up AWP. That's a nice little change that could potentially bait in a 5-on-4, but FDB don't bite whatsoever. They instead walk back over to the bracket side of things. Now they pull the trigger, and that's where Hardzow gets legged or maybe clipped through the wall. But CMB trying to catch him on the fadeaway gets punished. So 5-on-4 for FDB, and they've got plenty of real estate to crunch back on A.
Allison spotted one. Wait for the library player before fighting. Flash over a deep smoke. Leo Monster, you probably need to be doubling back here to check that they don't wrap in towards spawn. He's actually gone to stack on towards the A site, and well, unfortunately, the issue with this is they're heading towards B, and it's all on Divine. But look at the time here. 10 seconds. If he gets 2 good kills, he can win this round alone. There's one. Look at the kill. Look at the time. Oh my God. Oh, he nearly actually rounded that corner. They very close to rounding that corner. Bomb goes down. I mean, I would be saying give it a go, but who knows? This is also Inferno after all, and Detroit's found a nice shot.
He should be smoked off. Oh, there is no smoke up on CT spawn. But Allison doesn't want anything to do with this. Leo is already headed for the hills. You know, if he was new box, we could have had a bit of a Stewie moment going, but fortunately not.
That's the issue with Dark. Like, you can't, like, play around the angles. You're just stuck.
Yes, yeah.
Dark's good if you got support.
Right, you're like max capped out at 2, and that's realistically only 2 if one person misses when you shoot off the first bullet. That's really it. If you got new box, you got second oranges, you got pillar, you could maybe make it to fountain if you're lucky. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, and LP will take another one of these timeouts. I think in their minds, if they realize that they can get just a couple more on the CT side, they'll be happy. As you've seen on their T sides, they've just looked a lot more free. Of course, that's where, you know, Allison can do his best work. And yeah. I think for them, they're just trying to keep their heads above water more than anything. So let's see what they can do. They've still got a bit of money to chew through on the FDB side. So it's not going to be an easy walk back into this Dust 2. But then again, on Dust 2, they were also down like, what, 3-4-0, and they had to basically get through 3 full buys to really get back into it. And then, obviously, look at the scoreline above. You know how one-sided it eventually turned out to be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you can't completely count it out. Teammates on the CT side towards ramp, but avoided with ease, to be honest, because they all dive up in towards one, or a couple of them up first, and there's 2 remaining. Ramp players aren't far enough forward, and they don't do anything. It's a great flash.
Flash is very good.
It's so ugly, though, from Leo Monster, but it's fine. Alison's there. We're okay.
All good, and Allison's got a deep molly. He's isolated this AWP, and he's found a considerable amount of damage. He doesn't have a nade to potentially finish off Detroit. Allison swaps over to the MP7. This is pretty insane for him to still be around this area. Jump spot from Hardzow gets punished, and a flying MP7 from Allison does the trick. Sure, you've got a flame brewing here from Turtle, but oh boy. Allison should have this one dead to rights. Actually, oh no, okay, now he's considering it. So he's watching back in spawn. They've calmed it over. And as mid is being cleared out by Divine, they should know where he's coming from. Player spotted. Allison's got to dive back around. He will be giving over the bomb here. Oh, actually, no. It's on the other side of the half wall. There's no way.
What is happening? 25 seconds.
Well placed. Yeah.
Anyone want to fight back on the spam? No, no one.
Nobody. I mean, the bomb is still there, and
how many mags does Turtle have left? Like,
he's got to have
surely we're running low
at this point.
Yeah.
10 seconds now, and
just
at this point, he just
bro.
wants to save.
Yeah.
I think they're going to swarm him. There's a real world where they can.
Yeah, run away, my guy. Like, let's go. Oh, my God, he's struggling. He gets up. And then they don't hunt him after all that. Fair enough. Round 1 by LP, but that's a really ugly one. But a round 1 all the same. 3 staying alive is also huge as well. It's good for that econ. To put yourself into a spot where you can feel a bit comfortable. A couple of rounds where there's actually going to be some econ to fall back on for Leo Monster. For Divine. Drop that comes over. Allison, Hap, and DMB. Have loads. We spoke about it being a pretty important swing round. You can see what the buy is like. I'm surprised off the back of that they go for a force. I would just leave Turtle stranded with no econ.
Yeah, it's usually what you should do. And just say, okay, you like Mac 10 in the next round. But so far, they have what they're looking for. A 4-on-4 and banana control. And they should be able to scoop up that gun as well. Oh, but that nade is massive. Smoke comes through. They might have to just go full gray screen through this. But Detroit's made it all the way in. It's all on Allison. And he's been big in this series, but can only find 2. Still pulls it into a doable clutch situation, but look at this aggressive play here from Turtle through the CT smoke. Is Divine going to check this angle? Absolutely not. He's playing the trigger discipline as well.
Wow.
Looking for that second player. I mean, just the discipline is so fantastic. But the flick around from Divine is magical, but the trade from Detroit's even better. And so, yeah, it's not necessarily the greatest idea to go for the 4 spot here for FTB, but they get away with it regardless.
Yeah, that flick is... honestly, it's kind of huge. What a shot, but guaranteed lead now for FDB on this C side. I'm a real worry. Yeah, that's a nasty shot from Divine. Can't get the second off in time, though. That force buy is successful. I questioned it, but credit to them. Force buy back in response by LP. Double M4. P9. Double 5-7.
Turtle now getting up into apartments. Getting a lot of A space here. Detroit walking into Boiler with just no support, really. And Turtle is there for the trade, luckily. And Divine will take that space back up. Headshot on headshot angle and completely back turn for Divine there. Hap can still trade this one out. Close range at 5-7 can definitely do the trick. And this is just a standstill here at the base of T-Apps. Who's going to blink first is a real question, but Turtle will just disengage and FDB will move back over to this banana car setup. Leo taking first contact, and he does find 2. Still lives on 1 HP, and you've still got this bait and switch setup in ZMB. You're never clearing this, but he whips! He fluffs his lines. Does still do some significant damage to Hardzow. And Leo Monster will clean it up on 1 HP. But LP just getting it done. That's just the name of the CT side.
Yeah.
Just getting it over the line.
Just have some sort of foundation to fall back on. This is it's one of the games of all time.
Certainly, certainly.
But LP should be getting a 5th here. Like, surely there's not a world in which this falls apart from this sort of position. Get yourself to a 5th and point like that. It's a world. You get a pistol, force buy in towards the second half, and by that point you're already tied square, and there's a lot of pressure on towards their first gun round. So, let's see, you got a Mach 10 for Turtle and Hardline. That's about as good as it gets. We're diving in towards A here. There's 3 players to meet them. And ZNB starting to rotate over, but in they come. First find is fantastic from Hap. Allison 2. Hap will find his second. Little labor, but he gets there in the end. The remaining 2 of Hards out in Detroit. They're trying to set up something back towards B. Leo Monster's here to meet them. This will be done in just a second if he goes through the smoke. What is he actually doing here?
Getting that kill. Look, 1v5's on. You don't understand.
Just bombers all the way on towards A short. But
here we go. Ardzao now looking for all these players. He's got to have a little bit of X-ray, right? Come on now.
Surely.
Clear alt. Clear alt. Yes. Yes. No, absolutely not. 1v5 dead. LP on 5. We'll take a little bit of a break.
Welcome back. We're heading underway in towards that second half now. Do you know what? Fair play. Bit of a recovery from LP. They're up to 5. They get a pistol to start off this T side, and this map is back on for them after a, a pretty ugly start, let's put it, Paladin.
CK's out starting to get involved here on the top of Banana, and he only gets one. Leo now finds the trade for sure, but PKL still keeps it in a 4-on-3. App now going into the apartment setup. Nice little jiggle there, but it's really not even a 2-player setup. It's a 3-player setup here, so they were never getting back into A if they even wanted to. ZMB now into a tough situation here. Does drop a molly, and does have a smoke in the middle of the site. Should be able to get the bomb down, which is nice. A little bit of cash injection. That's all.
Diffuser come through. It is just the one consolation kill. A bomb plant's nice, I will say, but I mean, outside of that, definitely an argument to be made that it's not good enough. I think, just generally speaking, in this position where you need to be doing a little bit more than that. You can force play back around a bomb plant, though, is the only real positive for LP. Lose this round, though, and to be honest, probably the map's in jeopardy at that point.
Yeah, this is pretty risky in terms of the purchase, but stranger things have happened in this best of 3. Banana utility established. But a lot of focus put in there and not a lot on the bracket side, so they're going to have to retake that themselves. Very passive approach here from FTB. Do not want to really fight for any bit of map control. They're even throwing in archside smokes and still really nothing being fought for. You even have an extra rotation onto this A side, and it's PKL completely alone. He goes down with nothing, smoke up into the site, and CK's guy was just going to go charging through. At least he thought about it. Realizes that it's just not worth it and bounds back away. A boost will come in. Detroit now to take first contact, but surely they're watching for this at this point, but somehow 3 kills come in for the CTs. Bomb plant denied. Still have a 2-on-2. It still has this Tech 9. What can you get done with it is the question. Push to the side of Pool, and the bomb will go down. CK's House pulled it off. What a huge round there from him to not only stay alive for so long, and still find impact in terms of the kills as well.
Yeah, absolutely fair play. That was really, really dicey as well. That multi-kill that we get coming through to kind of initially deny that plant, really, really well done. I think for LP, it feels like they're meeting a bit of the match. I'm not surprised they're going back into a force play, though. This is very common in terms of the meta at the moment of what to do, where you just keep chaining force buys and hope that eventually you break the deadlock. In the end, the fact that they squeeze out a plant is kind of the huge thing. Seeker's out probably actually could have denied it. He just didn't realize that. Oh, hold down mouse 1. Opens Detroit. Holding for the cross. Will be Molly to force him off the angle. I'll flash in. PKL wants to fight here. With that Molly, his teammates have to isolate it, but he'll just dip out of there. Smart call.
Ooh. They bring over 2 more players. That's pretty unreal. I think they're anticipating that it's a bit of a double pump. And it might be, considering how limited the utility is. And those nades are going to do so much damage. AWP lined up, and they're trying to run away, but you can't. PKL on this MP7 is relentless. The second force buy has looked even worse than the first. And unfortunately, that might just be the map.
I think you're right. This feels like a third map is sort of destined in this one. Simply put, not good enough. Lackluster in a lot of ways. But on the flip side, credit to the likes of FDB. I just think they've done enough just to make sure that they're always keeping themselves And Arms reach away third. Timeout being called there by LP. I just don't really know what he can bring to the table. Looks like a half bite for them. Tech 9s. And it might be a slightly quicker round once again. Alleviate some pressure. Try and get a plant. All things considered, I think you're right. I think this third is going to be required here. It will be Mirage. Very, very puggy.
Yeah, and that's probably the exact map both of these teams want at this point. As you can see, it's not really taking much utility to surprise the other team. That's just how it is. They're very forward-facing T sides here, and they're just gonna go charging into this A bomb site. There are only 2 players here. They've caught this CT side in transition yet again. Allison has found one, don't get me wrong, but Turtle is doing a lot of great work in the pit. He does only get 2 at the end of the day. Still a 3-on-3. Bomb should be able to go down. I say that, and they actually get off the bomb and find 2 kills of their own. PKL, though, is still really fast on this flank. ZMB's got to be aware of this flank coming through.
He's tunnel visioned.
And I think the barrel's been spotted.
Yeah. I mean, ZMB's a known quantity. I don't know if PKL is, though. Oh, my God.
Oh,
that was honestly close. The AWP there for ZMB, he was tunnel visioning towards apartments. So there was a world in which he actually could have slipped the net. That was, like, dangerously close for a split second there. But in the end, they stay alive for now. For now. Still a long road to recovery. I don't really start to believe until we get to a scoreline of about 10-9, and that's when I can start entertaining the conversation. Still 2-0 in this. This T side, for at least the first few rounds that we've seen of it, has been for the most part unconvincing. The one positive I will say is they are quite consistently getting plants.
yeah, and they've been getting a lot of pressure on in these half-buy scenarios. Found another one as that smoke plumes, which is huge. But they still haven't figured out that Hardzow's here on the boost angle. He's heard a player cross over in a pool. They're still not checking this boost. Finally they do, but it's too late. Hardzow gets away with his life, and Detroit now has nades up to potentially soften up Divine, and he absolutely will. Ticks him down to 40 HP, sub 40 HP. Play out this 3-on-3. Still should be favored for the T's, as you got a late banana player as well in the form of Hap.
Divine. Looked like he wanted to peek just before that smoke plume, but he'll reposition. The thing is, he's been heard. But do you expect a guy up here? Allison surely gets overlooked. Never mind, he's caught by the flash. Doesn't matter. Divine will bail him out. Turtle swinging a find. Oh, that is beautiful. Tap on towards that bomb. Not committing to the stick as well. They know the last guy's CT, and there's no time anyway. Detroit will save that AWP, and Hap with the AK as well. LP live to see another day, and a consistent thing. You know, I'll give them their credits. They're getting a plant every single round.
Yeah, they're catching the CT side basically off kilter every round. I feel like they've hit the site with the less amount of players basically every time, and that's really rewarded them. Sure, you know, you're getting CTs into some nice positions to get a couple, but as we've seen in Inferno, it's like if you get yourself an even man situation, you get the bomb down, you're favored as the offense. So just trying to get those bomb plants have been huge for this team, and they're looking to continue that as Detroit just gets eviscerated. That's the only gun that they had in the round, so they're going to try to hot potato it over, and Turtle scoops it up himself, but they should be feeling nice now that there's no armor to be involved on the other end.
Also, Detroit's been doing that, like, every round as well. Like, it's about time he's been punished for it. Oh.
What?
Not more than one, right? Okay, good. I can give him getting one with a pistol, catch someone off guard. Getting two would have been wild. Bomb down, round done. Bomb saved. It's okay.
Deficit's only 2 now. So we are entering into that conversation, and again, that's the way MR12 can kind of happen, right? Is like the game can very quickly run out of your control off the back of a couple of buy round losses. And they will have their sniper up in the next round, but you can slowly start to feel like the momentum shifting in a way towards the LP side. And I'm sure in their minds they would just love to close this out in 3, or in 2 rather, instead of 3.
Terrorists win.
Okay. We're back in towards the buy. Hope saved and dropped back over towards Detroit, but at that 10-9, I entertain the conversation because from a spot like that, generally the money should be broken. If LP get a 9th here, make sure that nobody saves as well. Financial ruin for that seat side. And that's kind of the position they're in right now. It's forced by in, failed to find success, eco, rinse and repeat. And that's how you scale in towards a game like this. And that's what LP are doing currently at the moment.
Oh, look at Leo. Wants to go all the way through that smoke, and PKL has none of it. Allison, though, plays around with the chair there. That angle is really hard to deal with. Turtle gets a dink, but not a kill. And we still have ourselves a 4-on-4 apartments and brackets control essentially secure for LP. Flick not converted for Detroit, though. Now he's got to get out of dodge. Somehow he has. He's found Divine, and he found Allison somehow completely blind. But ZMB with the clawback is massive. Just misses out on PKL, though, so the flank will be almost instantaneous. I mean, there's just no way they're going to read this, right? Surely not. PKL continuing to climb through, but now Hap can get into pit. Now he can read into this situation, and the smoke comes up perfectly. And they've caught the player walking out through Arch, but they can't find the kill, and now it's all onto Hap, and he can't find it either. The Molotov is perfectly placed, and FDB, I feel like they just get away with one there.
Yeah, they really do. It's a very ugly post plant, but they do get away with one. They're very fortunate. The molly is perfect. Credit to that. Clears him out, and he's kind of in two minds of, do I step forward out in towards the open, or do I try and fall away and kind of play it deeper into that back corner, but I'm exposed, I guess, in a slightly different way. Well, 11-8. The CT side that have really been struggling here. That round alleviates a lot of the pressure, and hence where I was saying with that 11-9. Like 11-9, I entertain it because the econ broken. 11-8 though, you're still 3 rounds behind. It's the CT side of FDB that are 2 away now, and at this point they can potentially even just stumble over the line.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping if you are FDB. Smoke up in through Art side. Literally gives away Hardzell. Hardzell will have to use a bit of utility there. Still 2 players only on this A bomb site, but they've called enough of a bluff that LP move back over into the B side. They do take significant damage off those nades. Retake banana utility comes in, but there's another counter there from the T side, so LP will not allow for car to be taken back over. Oh, they're tossing another one in. I mean, surely you've heard the information that there's at least 2 players here, maybe even a third. And they're actually going to flash through. Potentially. I mean, nades lined up. Everybody has basically nades out on the site itself, but the flick over from Detroit is so key. He re-swings in for a second, and that might be a little overzealous. Here comes another flash to activate PKL. And he's found one, and he's found a second somehow. Swinging around. It's all up to Allison. He's found a crispy couple of kills there. And he's gotten the bomb down. Yeah, he's definitely the guy to piece one of these together. And
he's 20 and 40.
Considering the flank. He's considering it.
He's dead.
But not long enough. The flick over has to come over eventually, and it just doesn't. It's map point now for FDB, and the cache has gone dry, unfortunately.
Yeah. He gets tunnel visioned in, right? He's so... I think maybe even like a miscom where he assumes, or he's been told that they're both coming through from CT, but he just doesn't even consider the possibility of that flank. That being said, 4 rounds in a row required by LP to save face and take this to OT, but this feels like it's destined to go to that decider. At 12 to 8 as well for LP. You touched on the money's run dry. Double Galil. Double Tech 9. And a Mac 10 to round it out. Allison's had a good game once again, but DMB, we've not had the same level of form from him. Allison, though, just relentless.
I want to up the tempo there on the bracket side. They found another player. Leo has just caught PKL. I think they heard the dink noise and wanted to go through with it, but this is getting really ugly. They know there's another player that's crossed into B, and they've just lost a body over there on A as well, so 1-1 on the sites accordingly, and Hardzau's playing a little too lax here for my liking. Now the Moto Smoke comes in. I'm gonna see if we can take one with him on the way out, but there's a gap in it. There's a gap in it, but the dink's hit. Well done to Hap there. Leo Monster completes the kill. And we play on. 3 more to go for LP to push it into OT.
Not dead just yet. I mean, I still don't know if I believe, but we shall see. Save the M4 for CK's out. There's enough money to kind of buy around him. Troy can buy, probably if you can guess the AWP out, to be fair as well. The only one who's going to struggle a little bit will be PKL, but he can get a little bit of a drop from CK Zhao, and that can be okay. With that plant position, they can go saving towards Big Pit, no issues. That's that, up to a 9th. The chance at settling this in to still a possibility, still not out of the realms of possibility. I can't say I believe just yet, though, and I probably won't even start believing or entertaining it until, or if we get to OT.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. I think there's essentially 3 buys, or 2 buys more available to FDB if they don't win this one. And that's going to be a real tall ask. Hardzau really loves his shotguns, man.
I love
trying
an
it
auto.
out with the XM. Yeah,
love
this
me
is
an
the
auto.
noob tube after all. And they're just going to go charging into B. 3 players here. One should be smoked off. Actually, the Molotov dissuades them. And they'll move back over and slow things down once again. They just leave ZMB here on a bit of an island.
Flash round, actually catches a few.
Oh no. That's a little overzealous from ZMB and actually gives Turtle a chance. Now this shotgun's got the perfect scenario for himself. Divine's now got to go 1-on-5. He's spotted out Turtle. And he won't find him. It's 13-9 for FDB. They steal away their opponent's map pick themselves. It's a $93 performance from the captain to charge into Mirage now, who, for them, I think they'll be very happy now that they can reset the situation.
Yeah, agreed.
And get back to a map that they like.
Yeah, and you know, now with this Mirage as well, it once again, in a similar vein to kind of how we were kind of speaking about with this series, it does become anyone's game, right? You know, we look at kind of statistically how it's set up. It's pretty evenly split across the board, and it is kind of a great reset map. I always kind of call Mirage kind of the litmus test, right? It's a real test in kind of not only kind of what the mechanics are looking like for your respective sides, but also what is the depth in calling looking like? What's the mid-rounding looking like? Mirage is the perfect map for all of those things. There's nothing new on this map anymore, so because of that, it really does come down to the here and now. And I feel like as well, with the here and now, credit to them, FTB, I'd made the argument that they may be the slight favourites heading in towards that. They looked really damn solid towards that tail end, and they really were able to punish a lot of mistakes by LP, and it cost them. So we'll have to see. We're going to throw this one to a break. When we are back, it is map number 3 up next.
Can you get done with it is the question. Push to the side of much damage. AWP lined up and they're trying to run away, but you can't. They bomb site. There are only 2 players here. They've caught this CT side in trend. Round 1, don't get me wrong, but player crossover in a pool, they're still not for this team. Situation and the smoke comes up perfectly, and they've caught the player walking out through Arch, but they can't find the kill, and everybody has basically nades out on the site itself, but the flick over from Detroit is not long enough. I think they heard the dink noise. Oh no. Gives Turtle a chance. Now this now got to go 1-on-5. He spotted out Turtle.
Hello and welcome back. Map number 3 here on the docket in this game, and we head to Mirage, the great litmus test as I like to call it. And well, kind of anyone's game here now, Paladin, but maybe an argument to be made that FDB can pull off the reverse sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you finally had some more exciting plays, and it was led by the captain himself in PKL, doing a lot of work individually, and you still pair off the fact that Detroit's still having a great series. Like, he's still doing a lot of work in terms of that AWP work. I think suddenly you're getting a couple of win conditions coming online now for FDB and for LP. Some of them are fading away beyond Allison, really. It's like you don't have the extra trades that are coming off the back of his aggression, and all of a sudden it starts to feel a little rocky. So it definitely feels like the momentum's swinging the other way, in my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I actually feel like LP are kind of the underdogs coming in towards this game. I think they're in a little bit of trouble, and they're probably going to have had a really, quite stark, quite important conversation heading in towards this third and final, because, I don't know, yeah, I do feel like they're in trouble. A lot of squandered chances, was not the most comfortable. I guess the good news, or the positive news, quote unquote, whatever you want to put it, is that this is the upper bracket, so it's not the end of the world if you are to lose it. You do get a second chance, but still not super convinced, and it definitely has been a little bit worrying, a little bit uncomfortable at times. So I'd be interested to see, just generally speaking, if LP are a little bit checked out, a little bit tilted.
I do say they do agree that they have another chance, but Shinden's in that lower bracket, and personally, if I'm either one of these teams, I would want to avoid them at all costs unless it's the grand final, and then I can talk about pressure and all that good stuff. But for right now, I think they're trying their best to avoid that, because they are on the same side of the bracket as well. They wouldn't even meet them later on in the lower bracket. So it's a weird situation for both of these teams. I think in both their minds they would like to be as close to the grand final as possible before having to play extra games. That's another thing, is just like the fatigue that you can get of having to have a lower bracket run is pretty intense. Like, you have to play 2 games, potentially more, compared to the other grand finalists if you were to make the lower bracket run. So it's not fun to be down there. Yes, you still have that extra life, so it'll be interesting to keep that in mind moving forward. But it's just such a ripe opportunity for both of these two teams to potentially have an easier matchup in the next, right? It's the winner between Uno Mille and Pain Academy, who are both very good in their own right, but are definitely winnable teams, I would say, to play up against. So there's a lot more riding on this than it might seem, I think, at least initial glance.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Just waiting for this one to get underway, and it should be quite an exciting one. I'm just checking the results. We have a few other games playing at the same time. Shinden did beat R2 2-0, 13-4 map 1, but went to OT on Inferno on Shinden's pick, which is kind of interesting. So good effort from R2 to even get it, that sort of far in towards a map and make a bit of a series out of it.
Yeah, good for them. Unfortunately, that will be their end of their run through the lower bracket, but Shinden continue to live on, and I'm just a big proponent of this team. I've been watching them for quite a bit, and they're not going to blow your socks off in terms of some of the players that they have, but they're a good, solid, fundamental unit, and they were in major contention for quite a bit of time, up until basically the last week. So they've done a fairly good job of putting in that work and climbing back in the conversation. So we'll see a lot more of them in this tournament very soon, but of course we've got to figure out who actually ends up playing them in that lower bracket through this game here. We've also got another lower bracket game going on between Crashers and Keyed Stars, which has gone to 3 maps. So a lot of fierce competition, a lot of 3-map series across the board, and that kind of speaks to the level of everybody that's left in the competition at this point, that they're all around at the same level, that you can have some pretty big upsets on the way to that final.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right indeed. It's we're pretty far in towards this competition at this point as well. I'm just checking. You were talking about the brackets. A winner of this takes on the winner of Une Mille versus Pain Academy, which first back by the way of Une Mille, so we probably expect it to be them. Pain Academy, not a bad side, but underdogs definitely in that game. That's a pretty tough matchup in the upper final. Then the other side, yeah, I guess in towards that lower. They just started map 3. It's 2-0 up for Crashers in that one. Who would you actually expect? I'd probably say like Keystars would be the favorite in that one.
Yeah, I'd probably give it to them for sure. I think Crashers have caused a bit of a ruckus here and there, but for right now, I think that there's some players on Keystars that excite me. I think Cuts Moretz is a nice one, and
who was he on? I casted him at an RMR. Was it Odic?
It might be Odic. I'm a little unsure. Corinthians, Flamengo. These are teams that might ring bells.
Let's have a look. It was. No, maybe it wasn't an RMR actually. I know who I casted him on. I casted on Tropper do VSM. That's what I casted him on.
Yes, yeah. That was a fun little mix for a while.
It was.
They're actually playing with their coach right now, which is really interesting. Chaos is a guy that has very low expectations, but he did some pretty good stuff against Game Hunters yesterday. He had a 1-on-4 clutch against them, which was pretty unreal. Yeah, and it wasn't even anything flashy. He was just styling on them knowledge-wise, and it was cool to see. So I'm interested to see how far Keystars can go, because that Chaos storyline is an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, exactly that. Looks like we have a bit of a delay here. So rather than us incessantly rambling, we'll throw ourselves a little bit of a break. When we are ready, we're going to head straight in towards Mirage. Ladies and gents, sit tight. Well, knife round to decide who starts where. Of course, you want that CT-side start. Mirage is currently the second most CT-sided map in the pool statistically this year. So let's see.
I didn't know that. That's interesting to know. I mean, I feel like this is one of those maps that felt a lot more 50-50 than it did recently, but I guess some of the changes have definitely lend itself to making the CTs a little bit more favorable. Everybody's very scared. Come on, guys. We got to get a move on eventually. And now Allison gets that first kill, and we'll have exactly what we're looking for if you are an LP fan. And win the knife round. I'm sorry that I couldn't do like a rap god type cast for it, but hey, we don't really cast knife rounds anyways, at all in most tournaments anymore.
Exactly.
I feel like it's a lost art, you know?
It really is. We don't even see them at tier 1 events anymore. They just happen and people just start. I got the stats for you though, right? So every map CT-sided, but actually for 2026 in competitive pool, obviously Anubis T-sided. That makes a lot of sense, right? Dust 2 has recently crept into being just a little bit T-sided.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think I would say that. I think clutches on that map were much more doable. You see a lot. I think the lurks are a lot better now.
Yeah.
From the T's, walking out of B, walking out of long late,
and B side retakes are impossible if you get a post bomb there.
Right, exactly. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely answers for it if you're on the CT side. You know, you can get aggressive and lower, have the cat setups, what have you. But that's interesting.
Then we got most CT-sided. What would you guess it is? It's not surprising me, but I cover a lot of
maybe
EUCS. See, this is where I think it catches a lot of people. It's Overpass, but in EU, this map is played obviously all the time. It's really popular for a lot of the EU tier 2 teams, and oh my god, the amount of 9-3s I see get reversed in EU like CCT and even like the ESL Challenger League is crazy. So that map feels brutally CT sided. Nuke's a close second. No, sorry, Nuke's third. In fact, Mirage is the close second. 53.6% CT sided.
Nuke's come a long way, and Leo Monster is caught between 3 T players, and he's only managed to get one before the gun goes dry. I go charging into this A bomb site. Bomb goes down, and Hap gets his head ripped clean off. It's just Allison in the 1-on-4. He's miles away, and he'll probably just play for exits here. The raid boss could not do anything here.
Oh. Steps heard.
He might
to your
not even
right.
shoot,
He's
to
to your
be
right.
honest. Oh.
He's missed his window. Oh, lucky. He's really thinking there might be a couple more that make their way out, but they've actually gone the complete opposite way.
I should have PKL now.
Oh no.
God.
Okay, thank God. Oh well. Nice stuff. To start things off, we said that FDB are our sort of favourites coming in towards this game, and I was starting off like it. Not really breaking sweating towards that pistol round. We're going to force fight out here from LP. FAMAS, double MP9. The dualies and the 5.7.
Oh, wow, what a weird sequence there from FDB. They throw mid-util, waiting for the LP crunch over there, and nobody actually fights. They're all going to just waltz back into A main. ZMB's got this jiggle going, so he can drop the smoke. And now he's hurt actually in Palace as well, so maybe they disassembled the mid setup. I'm not really sure. Oh, or that works.
Oh, that. ZMB gets one. Scoops of a Mac 10. I like this move by LP for this mid control. The only issue is it's leaving CMB alone here. What are we doing? CMB runs out into the open, U-turn in hand. No shocker that he goes down, but Allison gets one. He's spammed through the smoke, so he will fall. One of you needs to plant. They all go to get CT control. The plant will come through. Is a wrap coming through from ramp as well? MP9 at range with the support of the FAMAS is going to win.
Oh! It's so ugly. It's
this
so
is
ugly
rough.
from Leo. Long-range MP9s can't really do much these days, but it's still a 2-on-2. It's still got the dink through from Leo. There's no kit involved here, so they've got to get a move on, and they've got to find these shots instantaneously, but CK's out with the clothesline duel. And he'll find the second 3 in the round, and that force buy is dealt with.
Now, I think it's towards round number 3. Money run dry. They can't afford to force back in again in a round like this. So a few upgraded pistols is all they'll bring to the table. It should be a pretty simple third on the board. And it looks like it might be a very basic take towards A. We expect that will come through. They are sending the Mac 10 out. Hardzal wants to fight. Buddy, pull the gun out. Good about 2 dead to rights on the cross. He only gets 1. And though this body's around here and the pistols all causing issues, they have taken this too lightly against the low buy. And look at the problems that have now arose. AK scooped up for ZMB and for Allison as well.
You can't be contacting out A in 2026. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. The prowess of the pistols these days, like that level has gone up dramatically at this point, and Allison teaches them a lesson alongside ZMB. Detroit Turtle now, they're hoping that they can get something offered up to them, but they've lost the guns, and now all 4 players can swarm around this bomb as well. I think you just have to save unless they do find Allison here. It's an opportunity, but they're going to double up in A main. I like this setup.
Yeah, this is good. There's the first. He's going to get drawn in here. He won't expect CMB. Oh, will he?
Oh, he's read it.
Oh my god, he does. Good effort, Detroit. Close, but no cigar. 25 seconds. Turtle is so low is the only problem. The second he gets a kill here, he should just get traded by the other one. 15 seconds to decipher this one. Spotted, and he's dropped as well. What a round to take for LP. They had sort of no right to take it, but it's such a poor T-side round from FDB.
Now Divine gets himself an AWP. That's one of the cheaper rounds there in terms of investments for LP, so they have so much money to play around with. You'll have another Force Buy actually coming back the other way. It's a late purchase, and they'll be out of spawn just a little bit later as well, so they're still going to go for this mid play. They spotted out the boost. Oh, but that nade to kick open the smoke is fantastic. What a shot there from PKL. To kick open the smoke yet again, and PKL will still fight tooth and nail. Still hasn't been dealt with just yet, but gets obliterated by utility.
Divine. Holding in the cross. CK's out. I think it's been heard there by Allison, but no matter that he's being hurt, he still wins out that fight. That's excellent work, and he sells the fate that he's dropped down. Not that anyone was close enough to hear that anyway, but the idea is nice. I'll give him his plaudits.
Yeah, that's fair. Hap still very aware of this possibility because there was no sound cue given. Actually just gonna cross paths here without them even knowing. Oh, and CK's I was just checking back in a window. Now he'll actually give up his position with that smoke. I mean, Hap should be aware of what's going on. And now he hears that sound cue drop down through, and the bomb does go down into the B site. The rotation will come in all the way through Market, and Turtle will have to hold it down with just 17 HP. He can't go down early. But Divine's going to take first contact. I say that. It's actually Hap to be there first. But CK's out has made it over to the apartments in time, and he's spotted multiple players out. There is still a kit on Divine, and he's trying to stick it. He gets off of it, switches back to the Tech 9, and CK Zhao has gotten another very impactful clutch. 10 kills in the first 4 rounds of play, and FDB have gotten a new win con.
Yeah, just average round in this game as well. Just manic all the way throughout, but taken back and sort of back in blood as well.
Will still fight tooth and nail. Still has early,
really
over to the apartments in time, and he's spotted Mine, and he's trying to stick it.
Really uncomfortable round prior at times. Back 10. Trying to dive out. Molly's trying to force a fight here. God, Hap needs to be careful. He just about survives. They're trying to jump shot into his apartments here. And Hardzab will jump out. He wins the fight. Because of course he does. He's going to get both.
Oh, that's such an awkward experience there for Hardzab. But Divine does not want to let go of this round just yet. Close range Mach 10 though. Divine's really got to keep his wits about him. He'll go charging through the smoke right before it plumes, and Divine's got a freebie. ZMB's made the rotation in from Catwalk. They have fumbled the bag on this one, FDB. This one should be a freebie for them, and it's just gone.
One round game again. That's pretty brutal. Detroit's the only one with a premium rifle hero AK essentially for him. Hardzab with a Galil. And a little bit of util around it, but you're right. They fumbled it. After Hardzab's antics. All 4-0. Smoke down. Hardzab could have got out in front of it. Probably the smart call not to. Maybe a little bit overzealous. Just trying to spam that smoke. CK's out. He's going to get tagged. Hap is taking a couple of hopeful spams here. What is the idea? Are we just going to go for a late dive towards B? Well, Hard's out. Down he goes.
And everybody just kind of holding outside of apartments as well. Very weird sequence there from FDB. And now they're going to double pump back into B. There is no smoke to be dropped here. So now that that's faded, they can just walk their way up. But instead they're going to go up through underpass and into connector. And that's where Divine's AWP can wreak havoc. Leo Monster's also at the top of middle, which is huge. So this should be round over. You got a player boosted up here in the B bomb site. So even if they do end up B and they find Allison and bench, it should still be fine. 20 seconds. Now we've got to really go. And they're getting flanked by Leo as well. Yeah, this is definitely over at this point.
Allison, Divine. With kills apiece for them. Detroit. I'm just going to die before time, really. And he will. Divine will see it off. And a tied game. Not only tied, it's flawless as well. Beautiful stuff. And probably worth mentioning just again, it's kind of damning. Like, it's a very easily worked round. Just feel like at times FDB make life hard for themselves. It was very basic. It felt like they didn't really have a core. They were just hoping somebody would pull off some heroics, which isn't really a game plan you can rely on.
Just one Glock or one Deagle here for CK Zhao. That's about it. That nade should do some damage, and it does. EMB finds a nuclear strike and a couple of bullets to the face as well. LP handle business there against the anti-eco. They'll get themselves that lead. It's another purchase out for FDB. And now, I mean, this is the time for LP to really start to feel comfortable on the CT side.
That's it.
You're starting to get a little bit more aggression out of players like Leo. It's not just Allison necessarily. Divine's hitting shots as well. And FDB really have to get this one locked in before this spirals out of control.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, an opener. One towards Leo Monster will absolutely help. Really see with how kind of scrappy, chaotic some of these rounds have been. Something as simple as an opening kill on this C side alleviates a lot of the pressure. It just gives them a chance now to just group up. Just under the minute mark now. As they froze, they don't really have a lot of information to go off because there's been no reaction from LP, but they're grouping up for a B split. There's a short move and it falls flat.
Ooh. Hap's got to find one more. There's still Turtle to deal with, but they're filtering out of the apartment, and CMB was just stuck in the side of bench, and he's not even stopped the bomb. Oh, he's trying to pre-fire, and he's completely flubbed his lines. Divine will have to hold on to this AWP, but that really did still feel like a winnable round there for LP.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Tied square again with only a couple of casualties. Absolutely take that. Money on both sides, but so not super convinced at the moment. But this is for both sides. I mean, momentum has been all over the place. Neither side really finding proper consistency. Neither side showing just how strong they actually can be.
I mean, this is my kind of problem my problem with these teams playing so much Counter-Strike is it does feel very autopilot. Like there's not really like an identity to both of these rounds. They're just playing out the default and seeing where things go. And this time around, PKL tries to wander out through mid, and there's an instant trade. And we're just going to have these chaotic situations as far as the eye can see for the rest of Mirage, I'd like to think.
I think you're
They've
right.
gotten themselves into apartments, or into window again, or at least they were thinking of it. Now they will. But now LP have to be worried about the flanks, and Leo's got to get his gun out, but he can't in time. Man advantage, FDB.
A numbers advantage. "45 seconds, not loads of time here." He finds towards Allison. He actually might get overwhelmed. He needs to be very, very careful.
Oh.
They're spamming him. Oh, down goes Divine. Unfortunately, not a lot he could have done.
And now, Hap's got to head for the hills. Pretty brutal situation there for LP yet again. It just feels like they've got the right positions, but they don't understand who's watching what. Like,
it feels like the comms are like cluttered, right?
Yeah. Like the bench setup there should have been there 2 rounds ago.
Yeah.
This time around, it felt like the ticket and CT player were just not on the same page. Like, did the ticket player want to support maybe a move up in a triple, or was it something else? Did they both just want to play retake? I'm not exactly sure, and I don't think they are either. Maybe take a time out here and kind of discuss what these late round situations are looking like, because it's losing them rounds regardless of whether they have the right players in the right positions, and rightfully so. There it is.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the right call. But what is there to talk about? I mean, it feels like real core fundamental issues that are breaking down for them. If you can get up to 7 on this T side, absolutely a possibility, of course, for FDB. I mean, they will put themselves in a fantastic position. CK's Owls having an absolute barn burner of a map so far, 14-4. And it's probably a fair argument to make that kind of without him playing as a lights out as he is, like, it might actually be really, more even, if not actually in favor of LP. Despite the scoreline only being the difference of 1 round, it doesn't feel like an even game at the moment. It feels like we're still questioning a lot of the decisions from LP. If they lose this round here, round number 10, money's broken, so that should be the 7th for the T side. This could be really important. Detroit will open up proceedings. Flash going to come in. The flash is brilliant, but he just couldn't transfer in time, so Hap gets traded.
Detroit's doing everything in his power here to make sure that they can capitalize on this. Make sure that he can move the guns away as well, so it's not to be scooped up. Leo Monster will drop in an underpass. That's an unreal decision from him. But he doesn't go punished. And in fact, I mean, there's no way you expect this. It's being watched finally. CK Zhao really has been playing some intelligent CS here. ZMB and Allison now stuck in this, and feels like they're miles apart. They're trying to join hands on this B bomb site, but PKL is slowly clearing out this A side. They've still got plenty of time to go up through Con, and you've got PKL to cut off the rotate. Boys, this is a very smart and easy rotation to put together. But instead, they're just going to have PKL wrap into B. This opens the door just slightly, but head spotted off of ZMB, and this should be over and done with. It's just Allison here, 1-on-4, pinched from all sides, and they're swinging him 1 by 1. Gave him a little bit of room, but money snapped now, and you're exactly right, Neo. This scoreline feels very deceptive. FDB feel large and in charge right now.
Yeah. I did worry a little bit when they were peeking him 1 by 1. Obviously, Allison is somebody who could absolutely step up to those sort of occasions, but not in this instance. It's a guaranteed worst case scenario being a tie game at the half, but with how the financial situation is for LP, This should be the 7th here. Every day of the week. We have seen, though, 1 round thrown away to a no-buy. So I'm not going to completely count it out just yet. But it should be fine. They're looking towards B. No one here for the time being. But there's a quick rotation coming over from Divine. But he's only got a USP. So he shouldn't be that much of an issue. But they're getting a lot of respect there. I'll give them credit, FDB. They're not trying to fall for the same mistakes. They went for that dive in towards A and got completely owned. They want to fall to the same issues, which is actually smart from them. Fair play.
Pacey, not as pacey as previous rounds, but PKL still firing on all cylinders. Hardzow will clean stuff up, and Leo Monster gets a drive-by P250 kill and scoops up an AK, but that's all she wrote. All the damage now is just for stats anyways. LP have one more chance to pull this within 2, but FDB show no signs of stopping, and we kind of spoke about this in the pre-show that momentum slowly going in their way, and now feeling comfortable on this map as well makes this a much more doable reverse sweep opportunity for them, and it just feels like LP have run out of gas.
No, agreed. Looking, feeling pretty lackluster. Question being, though, if it's 7-5, it feels okay. If it's not, though, an 8-4, that might actually be unrecoverable. All it takes is one pistol in towards that CT side. A different game. It's a really important opener as well to get for this T side. I like this move by CK Zhao. He knows, understands there's the potential that we lost that early B apps control. So he's waiting to see what the reaction's like.
Very important kill to get. He does have the opportunity here, but a nade open, and wow, you don't see that sequence every day. Team kill out on the A plane. That completely stops things. The bomb doesn't want to go out alone. You've got a con wrap coming in, but Divine has snuffed that very quickly. It's really Detroit that's got to deal with this. And he's caught the flank as well. 35 seconds, and he looks like he wants to charge back over to B. Deathcam might have given a little bit of information over, so Divine moves over himself, and now it's just Allison on this A bomb site. 2-on-1 with 25 seconds. And with how committed Divine is, he will not be able to get back to A fast enough.
From Firebox. For 1. For 2 as well, he's going to get it. Allison sees it off, so it's a bit of a save face at that tail end up to 5, but I'm still not super convinced, I'll have to say. We're going to see after the break. Hello and welcome back in. Second half about to get underway here in one of the games of all time. That is for damn sure. As we don't really know what to expect heading in towards the second half, mate.
Yeah, I don't think I could tell you either. Detroit, close range with these dual Berettas. Hoping to take down this Palace Crunch. He's going to play ahead of the util. Molly comes in, pushes him forward. He's got to fall off, and there's flashes everywhere. It's just absolute pandemonium here on this A-bomb site. And somehow LP are making it work, but PKL is putting on a show of his own. 2 for him, and he's just like,
wow.
I don't know, figure skating around the A-bomb site, doing loop-de-loops around default, and he lives somehow.
Felt like he had no right to get away with that, but 8-5. And another damning position to be put into now. We are getting to the point of no return. On this C-side as well, like a slow start can be absolutely killer. That's a horrible way for it to fall flat, though, honestly. I'm going to force buy. I don't really blame them. I feel like you've got to take a bit of a gamble, but the chances force buy being converted, it's so slim considering the guns you got to bring to the table.
Oh, but CK Zhao is pretty exposed from this position. He's gotten completely blinded up. Another nice sequence there from Divine, and it's just Hard Zhao in the back of the site. He's had some big anchor moments in his career, and he's got to put on one more clinic here. He's figured out Allison is nearby, and he's found him, but he's getting pinched from all sides now. Surely he goes down in a couple of moments. And Leo's still alive. I don't know how he's been able to live for as long as he has. And same goes for Hard Zhao. He's lived for even longer. It's just Hap now in a 1-on-2. Still has a Tech 9 and drops his smoke at his feet. But Turtle plays right around it and still gets the defuse off. If I'm LP here, though, I think I have to go for another force buy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of that point of where I think you're so close that you may as well continue kind of piling the pressure on. I don't think it's worthwhile taking one step back to then potentially fail it anyway. I feel like in this spot, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? You're already at such a large deficit. It's not a bad effort, though. Again, with those Tech 9s, I really don't think they do a terrible job.
No, I don't think they do at all, right? But the problem is the players that are coming up the catwalk have got to be a little pacier. The fact that Hardzao is able to live for as long as he is and just pins Allison into apartments and isn't able to really do anything else,
agreed, yeah.
That could have been a lot cleaner. And for LP now, they've got to act a little bit more quickly. They do have a better buy in this one than the FDB side, all things considered. But
well,
they are running out of util, so that'll be a problem in just a little bit here.
Yeah, they've kind of got just enough for an execute now, really. Let's see what the call is to be made. Yeah, on that clock, they're going to dive in. Turtle's up here. That smoke is good, because he might get overlooked. He doesn't. Credit to Hap for clearing. One of which he can be drawn away. That's a beast of an aid, though. That'll really soften them up. Detroit going to play up in towards front side of Ninja. He needs to be careful. There's a guy creeping out from the con. Smoke, and Leo Monster's got 2. Uh-oh. This round's falling apart. He gets 3. What a huge one to scout for the T side.
And yeah, again, right place at the right time for all of these players, and it's just individual brilliance on the other end to get the job done. Leo now haven't really spoken his name throughout this best of 3 at all, really. But that might be his most impactful round yet. Completely eradicating the A defense. And look at what that's done to FDB on the other end. A1S for Hardzao. MP9 for Turtle, and look at all this space for a B split kind of opening up now. LP feel like they have got a little bit of momentum going for them here, Neo.
Yeah. You can really see there's an air of confidence about them, and why wouldn't there be? Bomb will go down. This is the round all but done here. Remaining 3. Detroit, PKL, and Turtle. I'll just save and keep hold of what they've got. Up to a spot now where 7 on the board. There's no money to reinvest in towards the next. So realistically, LP should be making this a 1-round game. Turtle's close, but he actually might potentially end up hiding in plain sight here. Normally, you don't want to move out of TV room. I speak too soon. Detroit's maybe in a bit of trouble. Now that he's been spotted. Turtle, you don't need to go here. But of course you do anyway. Detroit, you definitely don't need to go here.
But what if I
But
get
of course
the
you do.
MP9?
But of course you do anyway.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Oh. I don't know. It's like they're not even that close to the bomb to the point where like you're like, oh, maybe I can get some exits on the way out. It's like they are in T-apps. They've taken probably like 10 damage. You're not doing anything in this situation. Who knows? Maybe even an ace stack could have worked in your favor with these pistols. I've seen crazier things happen with pistols and armor. And now LP have a free route to an 8th, essentially. And they're just going to rinse and repeat. The last 3 rounds have just been B-split after B-split. And they're just going to do it again. I mean, why not, right? It's
Why
like,
not?
If you're getting up catwalk that freely every round,
just keep doing it. Exactly that. You don't need to show them any respect. Detroit. I was going to say, if he gets out, it'll be crazy. I think, yeah, Leomonta definitely did spot a second there, and he sees him off. Every second for him. Right, Turtle, we definitely don't need to lose this AK here. Let's fall away. This round's a write-off. Keep hold of the AK-47. Might be easier said than done, in all fairness, because of actually that deep flanking behind, in through mid.
Oh,
but
they're nading him now.
Yeah. Okay, Turtle's probably actually dead to rights here. This is not his fault.
Oh,
Just aim punched.
Good attempt. Better attempt than the last round. I'll say that much. But still the same result. By now, 4 FDB is out. Detroit will have that sniper, but they are running out of runway here, FDB.
Sure. So,
Instantly flying
wrong
through
game.
mid.
oh, CK's out. That's a huge double. Just when the CT side are on the cusp of completely falling apart and potentially even squandering the map. A double, bring things back. Perhaps got other ideas. He'll find one of his own as he looks for more. And PKL hit the deck. Turtle's still here, but he's also stuck. And now dead. Oh no, this round's falling apart. A double to open things up by CK Town might not be enough. That is brutal.
I just don't get how they're able to get up con like that for nothing. This is like the second or third round now where they've been able to get up con and get some free entries. Now Hard's out, has got to pick up the pieces. He's had a difficult time this series, but a clutch like this could go a very long way, but he's looking in every wrong direction. He's finally found this player on default, but that's the sniper. One swing and he might just be dead to rights, and he absolutely is. Divine is not missing a beat now, and LP are right back in this one, Neo. Somehow we have a tie game.
Somehow, some way. I think what you were talking about as well, that quite consistent con control is becoming such a point of contention. 9 all, but should be a freebie. Hardzout's got a Mag 7, MP7 for Turtle. Double digits should be taken here for the T side. As long as they don't do anything silly. Since there isn't really a gamble stack to fall into, that should be pretty simple. Play a default in this round, you should have no issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Now then, I'm gonna slow things down here, LP. They don't want to go for that same B split again, and you can see that FDB are basically preparing themselves for that. 2 players in a ladder cat setup, and then another deep apartments player as well. So instead, they're gonna go back to what worked in the last round specifically, and that's con control. Flashes in to keep these 3 players here. We'll just walk up cat very slow, or con very slowly, and CK's out has gone down. Sure, there's a trade from Detroit, and he's found another one, and the SMG's close range main find damage too. It's all up to Allison in the 1-on-4. This is just chaos here, Neo. I mean, there is just no rhyme or reason to any of these rounds.
Should be an easy round as long as I don't do anything silly, is what I said. And here we are. All Allison can do is save. Not that it really matters to save. Like, he's got money.
Really, no. I mean, I don't know how a Deagle's able to get 3 kills like that out in the open. There's got to be better trading protocols, better spacing or something. It's not even like he wasn't hitting headshots either. Though 2 of them were body shot kills. So something went on wrong there for that sequence to happen. But you're FDB, you don't care, man. You're laughing all the way to the bank. You picked up an AWP as well. This is a chance to run it back.
Yeah, what a round. Not for a good reason. I mean, credit, I guess, on that CT side. Like, obviously coming in towards that one with kind of nothing to really work with. MP7, Mag 7, few upgraded pistols. Like, walking away in a situation like, if I'm saying, if you get 3 kills on a round, I'd be actually pretty happy with it. 2, decently, right? But a round itself, it was so out of the realm as a possibility, I didn't even consider it. Detroit. All the damage Leo Monster gets. Steam flashed. He just stands in the open. Thankfully, there's no one there on the CT side. So it's fine. But I love that. He got team flashed and he just stood still. Didn't even try and tuck himself into the smoke or like run away. Just hands off the keyboard. Right. Who was it? Own up.
It's getting late, man. He doesn't have time to put up with BS anymore.
Who did it?
Oh!
Allison.
Where's CK's out come from? He's come from Catwalk and he's found not another one, but PKL and Turtle certainly will. PKL's doubled up. It's just Hap now.
Guys, you're walking into each other.
Smoke. And Hard's out will go down, but he took a heavy bit of damage. Bombs drop top mid. Pack it up. FDB with 11.
I kind of love with that walk in the smoke there. They walk into each other. They're like, I'm definitely not like far enough that I've hit the wall here. So they both back up. One backs up to like the kitchen area. One backs up to kind of where Hap is now. And they're like, no, I definitely wasn't that deep in. So they go back in again and bump into each other again at the same time.
Is it the clipping or something?
I'm like, what am I on here? And they're like, oh, light bulb moment. Hello. Apple. Keep hold of the AK. Honestly, LP are so fortunate they got a strong start in towards this map. In towards this half, may I say, because they've got like residual econ they can fall back on. They could buy back in towards this round, and honestly, probably the next if things continue at this current trajectory. They're actually very fortunate because in most other scenarios where momentum's fully gone from you, like, so is the money as well. They're very lucky they got lots to fall back on.
Yeah, you got max loss essentially locked in now as well. So
yeah,
even though they're out of money, like right now, it's 3,400, so they'll be fine moving in. But the main problem is they're running out of rounds. So it's getting into put up or shut up territory for LP, regardless of this little mini comeback that they've had here. And PKL has just spammed Leo through the smoke. Unreal, and completely throw the spanner into the works for LP. I think they were just thinking about a palace pop there, and it gets canceled because they've lost a potential late con wrap.
Yeah, you're right. Allison's moving his way forward. PKL. Oh, he does look down, but late. We'll double molly it. Why not? Make sure he definitely doesn't stick around. That's where you see, like...
He's gone, guys. He's gone.
That's where you see, yeah. He isn't here. Oh my God. Shot from Divine, to be fair, actually. Off the back of ZMB's flash. But that's where you actually, like, that's like a really good example of when we talk about when we say, like, the comms are quite cluttered. Like...
Yeah.
Oh, that's poor. That feels necessary for Turtle. ZMB.
Yeah.
He's actually had a lot of impact into his round. The first kill was his flash assist, and he gets that find as well. And he's giving them the A side. No one's here.
No, you're exactly right. The bomb can go down. They don't have any smokes, though. And because of that, Khan's open, and PKL has a chance to do some damage. And CK Zhao is actually wrapped all the way through. So he's made it in through the main, and PKL now can take contact, and there's Hards out from CT. The crossfires look good, and, you know, sure, it's all over the place, but eventually they get it all locked into place.
Map and series point. 12-9. Like we said, there's always going to be a bit of money to work with, but it is a quad Galil investment for LP into what feels like most likely the final round of play. Let's see, one last hurrah here. Potentially, can LP stay alive? We'll have to see. Need to break open the smoke. PKO will swing behind. But nothing. Leah Monster, nice opener. Nice find from him. Smoking towards top con, but CK Zhao going to find one back in response quickly. Leah Monster is pretty low, so worth keeping an eye on.
CK Zhao's having himself a map, man. 25 kills deep now. Kicking up a fuss here on the catwalk. Moves back over. And now LP want to maneuver over to this A-bomb site. No AWP to peer down through ticket side, so they've got to play full retake here if you are FDB. And now Divine will make his way out A main as well. So this is an awkward situation to say the least for Turtle. He's got to be very careful with how he plays around with this. He does have his teammate now in CK Zhao. Lurk Smoke comes in if they want to play ahead of that. They'll drop a molly for good measure. And it does flush out Divine, but they still get the bomb plant. They still have themselves a 4-on-4.
Well, briefly, Divine, Turtle for 2. Numbers advantage. Head spotted by Hards out, and surely it's done. It's the hero of Allison to bail out LP from a spot like this. They don't know where he is. Nade'll tag him just a tad. He's waiting. Time is of the essence here. Tap on towards the plants. They're looking to try and find a PK Will. He sees it off. And it's fake to Biru, who see off the map and therefore the series. 13-9 on that Mirage. Honestly, real credit to them. What a reverse sweep with 2 back-to-back 13-9 performances.
Yeah, a great mental showing there from FDB, and you gotta commend PKL for keeping their boys in the right space and still locked into that best of 3. And you gotta commend CK Zhao. I mean, joining this team after just like 15 or so days, having to replace Cold Zera, and doing it very well. And it shows that, you know, this new blood has injected quite a bit into this team, and now they're getting some seriously good results in their way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, I really think CK Zhao looks super sharp. You know, for only being on that side for not very long at all, I think he's really picked up kind of a lot. Yeah, a lot of kind of the slack at times when things are looking really quite difficult and quite dicey. Really decent map from him. I thought Detroit always looked quite good as well. He just seems to be a kind of relentless bit of pressure, and he's always kind of good for so many numbers in half. So Fantastic work. We've got a couple of graphics to show you at the tail end of the show for South America here. We start with the bracket as well to see how things have panned out. Here's the lower bracket. LP will be taking on Shinden as they drop down in towards that lower. That's a tough team to take on in the lower bracket. Shinden, of course, are the clear favourites going through that lower. Pain Academy will be taking on Crashers, who took down Keystars. So that's a pretty sizable upset there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a spanking on map 3, so Keystars will also not be able to move on. So a couple of heavy hitters starting to hit the deck slowly but surely. But if we could take a look at that upper bracket, if I'm not mistaken, that means Uno Mille will be moving on into the upper bracket final to play up against FDB, which that will be an exciting one as well. It's two teams that are trying to figure out what their core looks like, and they've been doing a lot of great strides in putting it in the right direction. So one of those two teams will be our first grand finalist. But again, that's all the CS for South America for now. We've done and dusted most of these semi-final games, and now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. But from us, from me, Neo, Kai, and production, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys very, very shortly. It doesn't matter, he wants to still duel. He gets flashed in. Utility very shortly. Here comes CK's out. Mid to B smokes.
Was really quiet. 35 seconds, don't have loads of time. Oh no, he doesn't. Oh my god. He's half checked it. Such a with a Galil.
He takes a nade.
App could very easily be tucked safely behind.
Detroit's now is going to give us.
Yeah. It's either. Oh, is he still alive? Not for much longer. CK, but he will get out.
Yeah. They're to take banana for free, and Leo does get himself on.
He's waiting. There's the first. Oh no. My god!
Area. Jump spot from Hard, looking for that second player. I mean, just the discipline is so fantastic. Surely they're watching for this at this point, but what can you get done with it is the question. Push to the side of a bomb site. There are only two players here. They've caught the CT side in translation, and the smoke comes up perfectly. And they've caught the player walking out through Arch, but they can't find the kill. And everybody has basically nades out on the site itself, but the flick over from Detroit is not long enough.
Down to the open, Yuto in hand. No shocker that he will come through. Is a wrap coming through from the cross. He only gets one.
To do some damage, and it does. EMB finds a nuclear strike, and
For the T side. Detroit will open up proceedings. Flash gonna come. This round. Thing. Yeah, Leomont are definitely potentially even squandering them. That's what you see.
He's made it in through the main.
Minds.
Bomb plant. They still have themselves a 4-on-4.
Well, briefly. Tap on towards the plants. They're looking to try and find a PK. Will